Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Anan Hamad coming from Citychannel. We're coming to you live from the State Fair where Cyprus Comic Con 2019 is happening right now. We're sitting in Hall A where just in a couple of minutes we're going to have our first Q&A with Game of Thrones stars Eugene Simon, Ross Mullen, and William Simpson. Right after that, we're going to stay here in Hall A for the Q&A of Cosplay Mall. After that, we have another Q&A with the Star Wars C-3PO Anthony Daniels, and we're going to finish off the day with a workshop by cosplayer Jemiah. All right, so we're getting started over here. People are going to start coming in. We're going to be bringing you interviews from all around Comic-Con today, coming from Hall A, Hall B, Hall C, everywhere and about. Stay with us. Power to you by Hellenic Bank.
All right, this is working. Hello guys, what's up? Oh my God, seriously? This is what I'm getting today. Hello people, what's up? There you go. All right, we all know why you're here, so let's get down to it. Avengers Endgame. Predictions. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, who loves Game of Thrones? Give me a, oh, there you go. Let's go again. Who loves Game of Thrones? Okay, just a couple of things for our panel today. The guys are absolutely amazing. I usually do like a half an hour, and then I open the floor for Q&A. But instead, this time, so they can get as many questions as they want from you, okay, I'm just going to ask the first question. Feel free to interrupt me at any time to ask your questions. Just raise your hands. One of the volunteers will be near you, giving you the mic so you can ask your question. Okay, so my first guest is an amazing actor. He needs to be an amazing actor to breathe life to an amazing character. He's also funny, relatable, and let me tell you people, he eats like a Cypriot. Please give a warm Cyprus welcome for Mr. Eugene Simon. Excellent, excellent. Wow, I'm sweating like someone, like Bran gave me a sideways look. Okay, so my next guest is terrifying. He's white, he walks, and he works as a part-time babysitter. He plays a monster, but in his heart, he's truly a gentleman, and he loves orange blossoms. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ross Mulan! Welcome, sir. And our final guest, he's basically one of us, okay? He worked on Game of Thrones as a storyboard artist. From the beginning, he knows everything there is to know about the behind the scenes, but he's also a comic book artist. He works on Batman, and he worked on Hellblazer for my personal favorite, John Constantine. Please welcome Mr. William Simpson. Thank you, sir. Take your seat. Take your seat over there. All right, guys, so everything comfortable? All right?
Yes, very comfortable.
Okay, there should be a mic somewhere. Okay. There you go. Okay, we just have to share a mic between the two. Okay, guys, I'm just going to go ahead and ask the first question. And, well, I keep asking questions until one of you interrupts me. Just don't throw stuff, all right? Okay, my first question is for Eugene. You had the most amazing death scene. I mean, seriously, the expression goes out with a bang. Like it's an expression, but in your case, it's an actual reality. I want to know when you watched that scene, okay, what did you feel? Were you like, oh my God, this is amazing? Or were you like, oh my God, I'm unemployed?
Well, when I watched it,
Yeah,
you mean, or when I read it?
Ooh,
It was
the gist.
Because when I read it, when I was told about it, I was like, oh my God. Like the way that I got told was Dan and David called me. I got an email saying, we want to call you. And I was like, oh my God, this is it. I'm going to die. Like, I just know it. Like, this is what this is about. So then they called me and they said how Lancel goes out. And my jaw just dropped. I was just like, are you kidding? Are you, like, thank you. Like, that's just the best way to go. Everyone in this show is going to die at some point. It's just a fact. And so I was like, that's a pretty rad way to go. And when I watched it back, when we had filmed it and I actually watched the finished product, I was just like, it was incredible. It's just one of these moments where the suspense builds so intensely. Sapochnik, Miguel Sapochnik, who was the director, just put together this beautiful sort of series of cuts between what's going on above in the actual set and what's going on in the catacombs below. And it was just amazing. I thought the music was so good in that scene, like the way they used the music to really kind of slowly build, like, is this actually going to happen? Like, is it going to go off? So it was incredible, dude. I absolutely loved it. And then when we were filming, basically when I crawl forward and I end up in front of this pool of wildfire, the pyrotechnics had put some oil down so that it actually lit and there was actual flame. So when I crawled to it at the very, very first scene, I came right up close to it, and then they were like, right, action. And they set fire to it, and it went off right in front of my face. Like, it was literally right here. And my eyebrows were just singed. I could smell my own eyebrows once the first bit of fire went off. So it was incredible. It was an amazing thing to be a part of.
All right, excellent. Okay, so any questions from the audience? Do we have a brave one to get started? Nope, then I'll just continue on. Mr. Rosmulan.
Hello.
Hi. People think that you just go to set, you put on a suit, and then boom, you're ready.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm sure
Thank
that's
you very
right.
much.
It's an extremely demanding thing to do, and people don't know how demanding it is. Can you please explain to the audience the process of becoming a White Walker?
Well, yeah, it's not for everybody. Definitely, just right from the beginning when you get a full body cast, it can be a little tricky because you have to spend the whole day in the makeup studio where they take a mold of your whole head, your whole body, all your bottom half, your arms and your hands and your feet. And that pretty much takes all day. It takes about 6 hours almost in sections to do for it to dry. If you're feeling a bit claustrophobic at that point, it's not going to be the role for you. Because then when you start actually doing the process of makeup, we would start at 1 o'clock in the morning. Well, I start at 1 o'clock in the morning. The makeup team starts at 12 midnight. And it takes 5 hours to be put into the makeup. It's a little tedious, but, you keep your attitude light and conversational. And then you have a 12-hour shoot day after that. And then another hour and a half to get out of makeup. So it's quite a long day. You have to be patient, and you have to have a good sense of humor about yourself, really, and enjoy the people you work with and make the most of it. And because if you're crabby and you get irritable easily, it's not the job for you, really. And if you do it once and they like you, they'll ask you to do it again and again and again. That's how I ended up doing this,
Well,
really.
did they ask you to come back for season 8?
No. They asked me to come back for season 5, but I was working on a Monster Calls. I was helping Liam Neeson with motion capture. And then I was invited back for season 6, but they were starting to use a lot of stunt guys. And I'm not a stunt guy. I'm not licensed. And I was leaning more towards not being that interested in working stunt with them.
Oh, you could work stunt.
I don't want to break my spine. That's a
yes.
really basic thing. I don't want to bust my head open. And I've had some accidents on sets, and I know that it could be serious when it goes really bad. So I was kind of reluctant, and I had some other work, and I was working on Doctor Who at that point. So, yeah.
Yeah, I like how Eugene was like, yeah, there could be accidents, yeah. I mean, ask me, I got blown up by wildfire. Ooh, a couple of funny incidents.
There were some funny instances, like in the second season when Lancel was still a Lannister and had long hair. There's the Battle of Blackwater siege that takes place between the Baratheons and the Lannisters. And when there's the scene where the Hound takes like a little sortie of Lannister troops out into the front of the gate to sort of fight off the Baratheons. And at that particular moment, there was this huge set that they built, like a massive proper castle down in this quarry. And as we all came out, the actors, the supporting artists that were on top of the wall that were throwing down fake rubber rocks, like they were fake, but they were still like reasonably heavy. We ran out the gate, and it was almost like a comic book. It was almost like a little kind of comedy. I took a rubber rock, like that big, straight to the head. So I was like coming out, like ready to fight. I went, and like wandered around aimlessly on the battle for a while, found the guy I was fighting and was like, I can't see you. Like just dizzy from all the stuff that had, from
Ladies and
just
gentlemen, the amazing Eugene Simon.
Yeah, I just
Just
came out,
here
I
for
was
your
like,
entertainment.
I'm blind right now.
Okay, I love that you said comic book, because that allows me to go to my next question. This is for William. Okay, if you guys would allow me, I have to geek out here a bit, because my favorite panel in a comic book in the world is John Constantine giving the finger to the devil while he ascends to heaven. And I just casually discussed it with William, and he goes, yeah, I was the one who did it, yeah. And I was amazed. Can you please tell us about Constantine, your experience with working with Hellblazer, before we get to Game of Thrones?
Hellblazer is one of these tortures in my life. I mean, it was really fun.
Well, that makes me feel way better.
It's a story that I kind of got into. It was my first job for DC Comics, and of course it was a horror job. I mean, I'd come off science fiction stuff in 2000 AD, and then I get into doing horror, and I think to myself, oh, I'm going to really enjoy this, until I'd kind of drawn a lot of it, and you were finding that your mood was all over the place at the end of a day of drawing, you know, devils and demons and Constantine up to no good, and, you know, trying to commit suicide, slashing his wrists, all sorts of crazy shit that he was going through. And I mean, it's one of these things that I don't think at the time I realized what I was working on, and that it was going to be something that turned out to be very, very popular. Because I was just, you know, I was drawing another comic book. I knew Constantine because I'd read him for years. So it was a really nice job to do. And the first series that I worked on was a thing called Dangerous Habits. So it was the Constantine cancer story. And of course, many years later, it got turned into the movie. I mean, the Keanu Reeves movie was about the Constantine cancer story. And it was kind of cool, because you suddenly realize I only had a little bit of time, in a way, on the Constantine mythology, but I had the time that became the movie, which was actually kind of cool. And, you know, it was one of those things as well, because I was drawing so many pages a day, I kind of wanted to get a model for the character, because we couldn't use Sting anymore. The original Constantine was designed on Sting. If you ever see, there's a brilliant ITV play called Brimstone and Treacle, which is Dennis Potter one, yeah? Right. And Sting acts in it as the character. And Alan Moore obviously figured this was Constantine, so it became the story. That's just a little sidetrack. Oh. Anyway,
that's okay.
But so the thing was, I'd asked at the beginning, do I draw him as Sting? And I was told, no, we can't, because of actors' licenses and people, you know, and so on. Shit. Anyway, so I thought, well, my brother was living close by at the time, and I thought, Ken, you'll do the job. Ken is much skinnier than I am. He's a lean kind of guy. He's got hair, and he looked more like Constantine, so I ended up drawing Ken. And so the finger is Ken, you know? I mean, it really is. And I mean, Ken was many, many things in that story.
Well, maybe you can draw the next John Constantine. We have a model here. I'm sure he'll be up to the task.
Okay, which of these two guys am
I
doing?
Both of them.
The very tall John Constantine, or the nice one?
I think, ouch. All right, okay, let's get back to Game of Thrones then. How easy is to conceptualize the director's vision into storyboard? I mean, I'm very interested about the challenge. What's your process in doing this?
Well, you know, it's no different really to whenever I used to work on a comic script. You know, I'd be given a comic script, except the comic script was all me just working on it. I would sit and break that down. But when you're doing a storyboard, the director's ideas are the most important thing. That's all I have to listen to, you know. I don't have to deal with everybody else. I just get to deal with the director. And the thing is, so normally you go in, you know, around about lunchtime, and you get a cup of coffee with them, and sometimes they buy you lunch, you know, like as in they order the lunch to come in from outside, and you're sitting there and whatever walks in. And, you know, because a lot of the Californians are very healthy, it's usually a very healthy lunch.
Right.
Yeah, that's just the way it was. And you kind of, when you're talking to directors, I mean, I had like 5 different directors each season usually, and it's, you have to become like a psychologist of some sort, because you're having to interpret their ideas, which I guess is pretty much the same with actors. You know, the thing is, yeah, because the thing is you want so much to be sure that you're giving the director exactly the stuff that they require. But also, you have that freedom to drop in other ideas if you come up with something that actually works for the story, again, like the actors. So it's a really interesting process. The other thing is, it's the first step for a scene being made that these guys are going to be in. You know, I mean, I did lots of White Walker stuff in my time, and you know, we were just chatting about it because there's a whole bunch of scenes that Ross did that I've actually drawn, so I know those sequences in a way. And the other great thing about the White Walkers, of course, was that that was one of the first things I got to conceptualize way, way back at the pilot stage. So the paintings that I did for the White Walkers are kind of what they got based on, which is pretty cool.
So basically, Ross has you to blame for the prosthetics.
Well, for part of the prosthetics, if it had been my stuff, it probably would have been worse on the poor guy.
I'm interested. Sorry, I wanted to ask you a question. Can I? Okay. Because I saw a lot of your storyboards when I was working, but then when I was cast as well, which was quite near the end of season 2, they brought me in for the casting with Connor O'Sullivan, and they laid out a whole pile of stuff for me to look at. Some of them were photographs of warriors in Africa and North America. Some of them were also drawings and sketches. Would some of those have been yours at that stage?
It's possible,
Yeah.
because the thing was, when I started off on Game of Thrones, a lot of what I did was concept work at the beginning.
Right.
And I mean, we did, you know, the whole thing with things like the Dothraki and so on. We had been picking our stuff from, you know, India and
Yeah.
places like that, and North America, of course. I mean, it's also like they're a mix of Mongol and
Right.
Native Americans. So you have this thing piled together. And I had no idea where the drawings were being used after I did them. I mean, for
Of
me,
course.
it was like, I do these drawings, and I was drawing weapons, really.
Yeah.
I mean, my very first job on the show was designing the weapons. So the thing was, all of those, you know, ice and needle and long claw, and the White Walker weapons and stuff, these were all things that I got to draw. Okay.
I was going to say, basically, my audition
Was drawings?
was drawings. Because they were like, we could describe the character to you a little bit, but really you'll get it from the drawings. And it was those drawings that really helped me I based my movement on, how I kind of helped the audition along, really.
That's really
Interesting,
cool,
isn't it?
because I never get to hear this.
Well, well, I think he owes you money then, because you helped him being cast. So there you go. Well, the Starks did warn us winter is coming. We haven't seen this weather here before, never. So,
When I leave, I'll take it with me.
well, hopefully, it's
We haven't
either,
drawn that yet.
it's either that or the Avengers Endgame marketing is going insane. So we have our first question here. If you want to ask your question in Greek, it's no problem. I'll translate it.
No, I speak English.
No, it's okay. I'm just saying for everyone here, if you're afraid to ask in English, just ask in Greek, and I'll translate it here for the guys. Go.
Okay, so I would like to ask you all the questions. My dad was acting in Star Wars in a backstage earlier, and he said all of this acting, it takes so much nerves. It's like you get angry sometimes. So I am interested, how did you manage to get this angry mood out of your body, to be friendly, to be happy?
Well, my first prosthetic job was the most difficult, and that was Clash of the Titans. I was buried in 40 pounds of prosthetic. I couldn't see. My body couldn't breathe except through my mouth, not through my nose. I'm a pretty patient guy, and we were using real fire and real steam, and it was very dangerous. And I began to overheat, and my heart got very fast, and we, all three of us, started to have what I would describe as a physical and mental breakdown. And I'm not joking. I was ready to walk off set. But the executive producer on that was Richard Zanuck, who is no longer with us, who's a very elderly man, and it was one of his last projects. Stepped in and really took us aside and said, you have to say exactly what you need, because what you're doing is amazing. We don't want you to think anything less of that. You are doing an amazing job. And he said, what do you need? And I just said, well, he literally said, so what do you need? And I went, we need to be cold, so I need ice. And he went, I'll stop you right there. Now, when I'm going to go out there and tell them that when I speak, you're speaking, so I don't have to say anything. So after that, I realize that when I speak up and I tell people what I need before it's too late, then actually it runs a lot smoother. If I hold everything back and I don't talk about it, it just gets worse and worse and worse, and then I get really angry. But that's only down to me. So I need to say early on, I need a break, I need some water, I need to cool down. This is what I need. So that's how I would get over it, personally.
That's a good way to start. Communication is a really important part, just to make sure that you've got things that are not going to be needed in 30 minutes that you won't be able to get from this moment on. So it's pretty much just making sure that you've covered all your bases as far as communicating. But I think that one of the best things, if you've got something that's really difficult to do, whether it's just an action that you're involved in, or you're covered in prosthetics, or you're doing something incredibly physical, or maybe you're doing something that's a little bit physical, but it's lasting for hours, like hours and hours. I think once you've taken care of communicating with people what you want, one of the main solutions is having a sense of humor. I think like just really laughing about it, and no matter what, you've always got that like.
Yeah, theater actor.
Let's see if we can get that done. I'm going to use both. Yeah, I think that you've got to have a sense of humor about it.
We're back.
Nice, there we go. We're back in town. Yeah, you've got to have a sense of humor about it. You've got to be able to laugh about some of the ridiculous stuff that you're doing. Like I remember, again, like season 2, everything for me past season 5 was a lot easier because as Brother Lancel, I was basically just wearing my pajamas. Like I just was like, right, here we go. It was so easy. But when we had to wear like all of our swords and our knight's outfit, and we were covered in fiberglass armor, and in season 2 when we were doing the Battle of Blackwater, we had 2 days out of 5 where it was raining. So that was like, we did 2 days of filming and 5 days to get this whole shoot done. So suddenly, on the 3rd day, it stopped raining. Now, by this point, we had done huge swathes of the battle stuff. We'd done all the wide shots. So everything was choreographed. We couldn't change anything. And we had to suddenly get rain. Like, how the hell are we going to carry on if it just suddenly stops raining? So what did they do? First of all, we were all covered in blood, which is like jam. So when you try to get your sword out, you're like, which is exhausting. And then, to get the rain, they got a fire truck hose, put it in the lake that is at the bottom of the quarry, which is -2 degrees and doesn't freeze because it's full of salt, got a huge hose pipe, and this guy, sorry to say it, but this asshole went on the top of the top of the castle, and just before we went like and rolling, and he went, all right, are you all ready? And he just turns it on, and we're covered in freezing cold water, and we were just having to do these scenes. And have I done it again? Again, what is wrong with me? And you'll notice that in that scene, if you watch Peter Dinklage, his breath starts to evaporate because suddenly we're all like, oh my God, like, what am I going to do? And we'd all been battling. I'd taken a rubber rock to the head. It was mental, but we all had a sense of humor about it. We were like, we do this for a living. This is what we do. I'm going to go home and this is how I make a living, My finances are a little bit better, So I think just trying to joke about it is the way to figure it out. It works for me.
Okay. Do we have another question? Oh, there you go.
Yes. I know your pain, dude.
Yeah, we know. The mic is the thing.
I'm not good in that. 2 questions. Welcome to Cyprus first for the wonderful panel. Your feelings participating in this question could be answered by 3 of you. Participating in this worldwide phenomenon called Game of Thrones, and which one is your favorite character? Which is my favorite character on Game of Thrones?
So
your
our
feelings.
favorite character and what it's like to participate in a phenomenon like Thrones.
I mean, first of all, you never know what it's like to be in something until you're in it, and then it's aired, and then you're like, oh, okay, wow. Then you see the world's perception of it. Being in it is just odd, I suppose. You just do it. My favorite character is Cersei. Yeah, love her.
Boo!
Sips wine, blows up church. My kind of gal.
not going to go for this now?
I'm gonna give an answer.
All right.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's absolutely fine.
Now, you see, from the very beginning, and it's still the same today. I mean, I loved Tyrion. Tyrion for me was the everyman of the show. He's the guy that represented all of us, kind of thing. You know, he's the one that's always put down. He's the one that's trodden on. He's the one that does things for the good of everybody and ends up getting blamed for doing things wrong. He's the one that if something good does happen, everybody else gets the kudos and Tyrion doesn't. You know, this is the guy for me. They've kind of let him drift a little bit in the last seasons. And it's a shame because he's still my guy, the favorite character of the whole lot. He's fantastic. I like the others, but it's ego against little Tyrion. So yeah, it's cool. White Walkers don't say anything. We don't know what their egos are. They're just icy. They're kind of cold. What, the White Walker, the Night King?
They're sweethearts, really, the White Walkers.
You're kind of liberating
They mean
people.
well.
That's it.
They're misunderstood.
Now you expressed your love for a character in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Publicly. You don't watch that show. People usually, your love characters in that show don't end up well.
Well, he's kind of here for the last season. Here he is. We've seen him. We know he's here. But we don't know how long, There you go. It's one of these brilliant things.
Well, my favorite character, I really like Theon Greyjoy. I really like Alfie Allen's character. I think he's been through a terrible amount. It's the arc of that storyline. The Greyjoy family has always really intrigued me because they're a kind of pirate nation, really. But at the center of them, at least originally before Euron Greyjoy arrived, there's this kind of weird honor that they have. There's kind of brutal, kind of colder than ice honor, and I really enjoy that character. But my favorite character, really, I suppose, is actually Eddard Stark. From back in season 1. I just find him...
But look at him.
I know,
how
but that's the
dozy
thing.
was he?
I know, he was like, all right,
Everything
will be fine. But I think...
Don't do it, Ed.
I think the reason that I love him is because he did things for the show that have made Game of Thrones the most astonishing bit of television that I think, there are so many great shows out there, but I think I've ever seen because he just changed, it changed the story a bit. So yeah, I think Theon Greyjoy, Eddard Stark, but actually the character that I really like is Just one. There's so many. Varys too. I'll leave it there. Varys. He's also cool.
Next question, the guy in the back. Sir, can you wait?
Do you want the microphone back?
Hi, welcome. Okay, so this is for Mr. Walker, but I'd like Mr. Eugene to answer as well. Yeah, so it's kind of hard to demonstrate a character without having lines. So I'd like to ask, how would you characterize your character, but you too, Eugene, if you don't mind answering that question? What kind of characterization would you give him? Because he has...
What characterization would I give the White Walker if he could speak?
Because he has no lines. So what kind of method acting do you use? How do you demonstrate the character?
Give us an example right now.
Yeah.
Like how would I demonstrate
how would you do it? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, the winner of America's Next Top Model. With that mini skirt. Hello. That's my demonstration for you.
That was great.
I dare you to go back.
So happy I saw that. Samuel Tarly,
Whenever these people are going to see a White Walker, now they're going to be, oh yeah.
just coming to, hey Thursday, bitch. Hey, bitch.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Pardon my language.
Yeah. No, Eugene, can you answer that question?
Yeah, so how did you... Lancel was kind of a confusing character for me because he was with Cersei, but I'm not sure if she was using him or not. I think she was. But then, did he went with Loras at some point, didn't he?
Sorry, he went with, say that again?
Wasn't he having an affection with Loris as well at some
No,
point?
this is the funny. It's funny. Finn Jones, who plays Solaris, myself, and oh dear, sorry, I've forgotten the name of the actor who Loris is actually sleeping with. He's we have this thing where people. It's like a kind of trinity. It's like the kind of snake. People always confuse us with each other. You'd be like, "Hey, Loris, didn't Finn Jones play Lancel, and didn't like Eugene play Loris, and then didn't that guy play Loris?" It's like we always get this kind of thing confused. But no, so Lancel disappeared after season 2. I mean, like the last time we effectively see him is when he takes an arrow to the shoulder at Blackwater. And I didn't know, just to answer your question, I didn't know if he was going to come back. But having read the books, if they did bring him back, what I thought they would do to make his return a bit more clear would be to use a scene in the book where Lancel meets Jamie after the Red Wedding. And Lancel says to Jamie essentially, "I've done these terrible things." And he's having this god-awful religious conversion because he's just so full of guilt for what he's done. You know, he basically killed the king of the Seven Kingdoms. He's been responsible for the Red Wedding, and he's basically just been a puppet. But he's having a mental breakdown, and he nearly died. So he's had this really intense mental breakdown, and he found religion. So when they brought Lancel back in season 5 as a sparrow, it's very much he just appears. And a lot of people were just like, "Who is this guy? Like, I kind of recognize him, but I don't know." And because I knew that they hadn't put that interim scene in, I was like, okay, Lancel is completely new. Like, the audience is going to have to kind of figure this one out. And it's going to have to be one of those like, oh, like when they watch it again, oh, right, now I get it, who he was. Which was kind of cool, you know. So it was, when people ask me, like, when people ask me, did you play like Lancel as one character or two? It's kind of a complicated question, because he is the same guy underneath, but it's very much different sides of the same coin. It really is a flip. So, yeah, that was how I handled that change. It's a pretty big change, for sure.
Okay, guys, let's move to the next question. Who's next? Love the hair, by the way.
Love the hair. Thank you. Thank you for saying it.
Yeah. Well, I'm a bit envious.
Love the hair.
So, a two-part question, if I may, to Eugene. Do you think that Lancel's conversion was 100% truthful, or was he partly trying to get back to Cersei somehow? And the second part, do you think that he ever figured out that there was no breastplate stretcher?
I knew I was going to get that question. The breastplate stretcher was never found. Never found, unfortunately. He's still in heaven looking for it. No, I think was Lancel authentic in his conversion, his religious conversion? I think that the simple answer, I would say, is primarily yes. The religious aspect of Lancel is very much associated with like a huge identity crisis. Like Lancel, and I think, to be honest with you, if you've got really strong religious convictions, that plays a big part in it. I think in the minds of human beings, if you're insanely committed to your religion, you're like, well, this is who I am now. I don't need to worry about who I am anymore because it's all written down for me. It's all in the text. It's all in my holy scripture. So for him, it was fairly committed, but underneath that, underneath the kind of the sort of really dead, sort of seemingly emotionless and almost mechanical human being that he portrayed himself to be, there's a kid who's really, really scared and who really, really is really angry and hurt because he never probably in the eyes of him, he never felt that he amounted to much. So he needed something to really bring his life back into check. I think the religion probably was a fairly sincere commitment. But underneath that, he's a kid, which is kind of the reality of him. He's a young guy who's just like really, really, really angry with his family. Someone asked me the other day, what would you want Lancel to be remembered as? And I said, the one true Lannister. Because he's even though he's briefly in it, he's the only Lannister who's not an egotistical, like, bastard. Like, he does things that are selfish, but it's because he's an underdog. Yeah. Yeah, he is. Huh? A bay, right. A bay, thank you. Lancel, the bay. Anyway, so yeah, I would say it is commitment with a child underneath.
Okay, guys, next question. Let's get this rolling.
I would
The
like
gentleman.
to ask all three of you, which character from the show do you most relate to?
Okay, so it's Tyrion, downtrodden and kind of have to stay drunk to kind of have a nice life. That's it. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Some guy, I'd probably be some armorer guy that works away in the background, you know, knocking out swords or something. Yeah, there you go. Because yeah, that would be me. And waiting for my potential demise, you know, as life carries on. So whoever the hell that is.
How about hot pie?
No, thank you. Thank you. Is that because of my size? Thank you very much.
I can't speak
hold on a
precisely.
minute now. I haven't had a hot pie today at all.
Someone get this man a hot pie. Right.
I think that's the reason I like Theon Greyjoy. I can it's just I think he's. I know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Not physically. Let's get clear here. But I think it's just family, you know, family feuds, family issues, family dynamics, difficult family structures. Like, I'm kind of like, that's very relatable. You know, that's very relatable. And obviously not what happens after that, before he becomes Reek. But yeah, I think he's a very, I think we can get invested, yeah. I think one can get invested in him because he's relatable to problematic families. Yeah, that's what I would say. Theon?
Oh, wow, that's a difficult question. God. Cersei. Because, hear me out. Well, like, I have a very strong personality in life, definitely. And, you know, I don't act on it, but I wish the worst upon people when I am on the tube traveling through London. And so when I see someone like Cersei sipping wine and blowing an entire church up, I kind of think, oh, that must feel really good. Yeah, so she relieves something in me. I'm always, you know, I'm always relieved when she makes it through a season because I think I'm so glad they didn't kill her off because this torturing stuff really does it for me. She does all the things we all really want to do to our enemies, doesn't she? Or is that just horrible me?
I think the directors were, okay, we need to make her really evil so people don't like her. Are you sure no one's going to like it? Dude, who's that disturbed?
Me. Yeah, that's why I watch Judge Judy. Because she's just like, destroy. Yeah. What was that?
Yeah, if you ever met Lena Headley.
Oh, I would bow. I would get to my knee and I would kiss her hand. Yeah. And I would do a tequila shot with her because I hear she's a real big drinker. No,
Okay, guys,
Party
let's move to the next question over there. Can we get the mic over there?
Yeah, you got a mic. Go for
I
it.
have a mic. If you could choose to play another character in the show, what will it be?
A dragon. Yeah, another one of my favorites. Yeah, I would love to play a dragon.
Motion capture.
Yeah, motion capture. I do a lot of motion capture for different animals and stuff. If you come to my monster workshop later, you'll see, yeah, I wouldn't mind playing a dragon. Like, they're crazy. Why not? I'll say dragon.
Daenerys Targaryen.
But yeah, then you get to have sex with Jason Momoa though. So.
Oh God. Yeah, I would say, I would say a character. I auditioned originally for the character of Joffrey, and Jack Gleason did the best. Like, he was amazing at it, but it's such a good character. Like, any actor will be like, wow, that's going to be rough. That's going to be intense. So yeah, maybe in an alternate universe, Joffrey. Maybe. I think so. And yourself?
Oh, shit. Actors, okay.
Actor stuff.
Acting stuff, boy. I suppose it would be nice to have been Robert Baratheon for
Yes.
a limited amount of time. He didn't need to do too much. He drank a lot, and he you know, he made that really stupid mistake with Cersei when he told her he didn't love her, and you know he never loved her, and he whatever. And I just thought that's the way to talk to a woman, isn't it? No, I mean, yeah, I think because it would be a short gig, and I wouldn't have to do that much. I might get away with it. Yeah, that would be it, Robert. Yeah, okay, there we go. You could have killed me. You could have killed me so easily. Yeah, yeah, just easy. Oh, he's brilliant. Oh, he is brilliant. Yeah, yeah. Okay, there you go.
Okay, next question, guys. The guy over there.
Which character would you say you like the least? And this is a question to all of you.
Ooh.
Like the least?
Yeah.
Like the least. What character do I like the least? Ouch.
Ramsay Bolton. That guy's a dick. Ramsay
love that
Bolton,
character.
man. That guy is a
Ooh, I love him.
dick.
He's awesome. Oh, you know what? Like, I can't say character, but I have to say, okay, I'm going to say something really unpopular. Bringing back Jon Snow was a bad idea. So since he's been back, he's been boring. So, because you know what? If you're going to bring somebody back from the dead, give them something to do that's interesting that they weren't doing when they were alive. I mean, honestly, that is my honest truth about it. Because I think, you know what? The high stakes in life are killing somebody, right? Am I right here? So the high stakes in life is when somebody dies in a television show, they're dead. And it's like, wow, that's a very high stake. And in this show, when someone dies, it's a really big deal. When you bring them back from the dead, it's like, okay, so they can escape death. So that makes the stakes of death lower. So if they are going to bring you back from the dead, you better make it really interesting. But I haven't seen him do anything that's anything other than mortal since he's been back. So I'm not that impressed with Jon Snow. Boring.
Thursday.
But it's true. Am I right?
Yeah, Bob. Well, I'm actually with you on that one, so well, unpopular opinion for the both of us. Okay, guys, next question. Do we have another question? All right. Okay, then I'll just ask a question to Eugene, then I'll come to us. If you were cast in the Marvel Universe, which character would you like to be cast in?
Oh, this is where I feel like I need to make sure that I know the Marvel Universe as well as I do, just to be sure. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, Eugene, that's a DC comic. Go to hell. Yeah. Batman. No, I'm joking. You know what I mean? There is, oh my God, now I'm thinking back to, I saw actually Infinity Wars just the other day. Sorry, I just had a really funny thought. Sorry.
Black Widow.
Black Panther. Sorry. Sorry. You said it first. Anyway,
yeah, that would be a surprise for everyone on set.
I'm just joking.
Yeah.
I would say the character. Do you know what? I've always thought it'd be fun to do a character where I like people do these big physical transformations. You know what I mean? So why not? I'll try Captain America. I'll Captain America my way into the world. Yeah.
There you go.
Why not? Why not?
Okay, so Kevin Feige, if you're watching, your next Captain America is here. He's willing. All right, we have a question over here. Oh, yeah.
Oh, right. I auditioned for 2 months for Groot. Endlessly going back and forth and meeting the director and doing motion capture for them and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And it didn't work out. for several bitter reasons, which I won't repeat. But I think I would have done a really good job as Groot. That's what I think.
What do you guys think? Would he make a great Groot? Yeah. There you go. Next question.
Is it somebody that you want to kill on a tube train?
I want to hear from all of you here. Do you see a possibility of any other continuity seasons after this one for like coming back to the past of the beginning and when Targaryen was that actually in the power, how they lost it? Do you see that as a possibility maybe?
Well, the thing is, if it maintains its popularity, there's so many histories that they could go into, because one of the things that I got to draw was past histories for the Blu-ray DVD extra stuff. I did some of those, and the thing was there was so many different kind of stories that would be great to delve into. But of course the problem is that some of them have already been touched on in Game of Thrones, and I imagine this new series may well touch on some of the other stuff. So it's a case of if you use up too much of the material and you don't add lots to it, you then end up with kind of a very thin storyline to play with.
I mean, mostly in an explanation of like Jon Snow's parents, or
well, I mean, there's been a bunch of things. Yeah, I mean, when they talked about the first people and so on, and you hear about the the tree people and so on. There was a load of stories that could have been played around with that, but we've actually done them in Game of Thrones. So, it's would it be that interesting to revisit it? I'm fascinated to see what happens with this new series, and because obviously it's not connected to our characters that are in Game of Thrones, I assume, and it is only guessing about it, because I mean I saw one of the versions, one of the proposed kind of ideas, and it is set way back in time, and in a different part of the world. So, yeah, who knows?
I think, yeah, along that line, I think it's really, it's whether after this series is finished and where it leaves us, obviously in its final episode, whether this show can actually spark a universe the way Star Trek, Star Wars, and, Harry Potter, can it unleash a whole pile of different worlds within it? That, I think, really comes down to production and putting the time into it, because you can't expect the George R.R. Martin to be able to do all of that for the show. So it would be an inspired universe being created, And I think whether it can do that or not, I think certainly the material is there, but will it spark that? I don't know. We'll see.
One of the major things about Game of Thrones was David and Dan's love of the material. And the thing is, they remained the driving force behind the whole project. They knew things inside and out, because you would make suggestions that they would know wouldn't be in the show. They would know this is not part of that arena, and they wouldn't put it in. So the thing is, one of the things that kept it special was David and Dan's love of everything that George R.R. Martin had done on that show. Because, of course, George doesn't have a lot of input into the show. He never did. All the material was there, barring the ending. And the guys had to be faithful to everything that he'd done. And also, when they changed parts of the script to make it work for TV, they were doing something that for them was a necessity to make the show move better, and to play with certain character lines so that you weren't sidetracked by people coming into it that you would know nothing about. I mean, and it really does take that kind of love of character to create something that we all keep watching. I mean, there's lots of stuff that can be done with Game of Thrones. There's lots of spin-offs that can be done with Game of Thrones. And will the people who are doing the spin-offs have the same impetus and desire to make this stuff work the way that they did? I mean, those guys were living this show for so long before we did anything on it. I mean, it really, yeah, it's really important.
Okay, guys, we have time for one last question. Or we can wrap this up now and allow our guests to go back to their booths. All right, we have a question over there. Lucky the man at the back, the man with the lucky T-shirt.
Hi guys. Welcome to Cyprus. It's a two-part question. Who do you want to bring back to life, if you could, and who deserves to sit on that throne?
Ooh.
Who would I bring back to life?
Yeah.
Jon Snow's character, no.
In all fairness, Jon Snow.
Yeah, no.
With his army.
I don't know who I would bring back to life. I'm not big on bringing people back to life. I'm not really into that. Okay, I'd bring back my character because I got killed by Sam in season 3. So bring back me because it's all about me. What was the second part to your question?
The whole point of the show, who's going to sit on the throne?
Okay, me. Bring me back and I'll be sitting on that throne.
Everyone answers me and me. I would bring back, I liked, God, there were so many characters. I really enjoyed, I've already said it. It'd be awesome to bring back Eddard Stark. I'd like him to come back and just be like, right, yeah. Yeah. I'd like him to come back and just be like, what the hell happened? Do you know what I mean? Like, I've been gone 5 minutes. What happened? Yeah, I think Eddard Stark would be fun to have back, just to see the emotion of the Starks reunited with their dad. That'd be something. Or I would say, and what was the second part of your question? Who would?
The whole point of the show.
Oh, who would sit on the throne? I would imagine that someone good to be sit on the throne would probably be Arya. Arya would be good to have on the throne. Yeah. Let's have Arya on the throne. Don't know how she'd handle it, but it'd be fun.
Oh God, I'd bring back Ramsay. You know, you want to have somebody to cause more mayhem and kick ass, and he was so difficult to get rid of in the first place, so definitely bring him back to cause serious trouble. As to who's on the throne, I know who's on the throne at the end, and I just can't answer that question, because if I answer anybody, it'll be like, is that the real one or is that not the real one? And what the fuck? So I'm not answering it, I'm afraid.
Oh.
There you go.
Okay, we might need to go all Ooze Bolton on his ass so he can confess. Okay, guys, thank you very, very much for coming. You can find our guest at Hall 3 until 6. Mulan has a workshop at 6, so you're welcome to that. And a photo op with Eugene and Mulan, you can get it at 3 o'clock, guys. So a round of applause for our guests. Thank you very much for coming.
All right, sorry to interrupt, guys. We're here in the front. People are starting to walk on in. We're about to hop into Hall 6, get some interviews, see what's going on in here. All right, so we're here in the front of Hall 6, here with Christopher, if you don't remember. How's everything going?
All good, all good. Yeah, everybody's coming in now. Ticket booths have opened, and the flood of people has started, so it's going good. I think everybody's having fun. A lot of cosplay people coming around, I can see, coming in through the door, so it's looking good. I'm excited to see what you guys film as well around the place.
And what do you got going on over here?
Over here we've got our merch, so we've got our CCC t-shirt. This is designed by our graphics designer and part of the team, €15. We've also got the White Walker limited edition whiskey, €35 for that. We have 3 Game of Thrones people on location, so if you pick that up, then you've got the chance to get 3 signatures as well. If you want to pay the extra down there and get those signed, because they are limited edition bottles. And then we've got our poster as well, and we're just helping everybody out, so whatever they need. So that's us down here.
That's quite the mix, t-shirts and whiskeys. All right, well, Chris, thank you again. We'll be seeing you soon. We're here in front of Gamers Boulevard booth, and we're going to get a couple of details on that. So what's going on here?
Hello. It's Comic Con. We're really excited. So we have exciting prices and stuff that are Comic Con exclusive for everyone. Those are our mystery bags. One of them has a very lucky Nintendo Switch, and they contain merchandise that's really, really discounted just for the Comic Con. We have pull-ups, we have shirts, we have figures, we have everything. So please come to us.
How much do these mystery bags cost?
They're from 20, 25, and 35. And yeah, everything is way, way higher than those prices inside.
And what can people expect to find in them?
From t-shirts, hoodies, collectibles, figures, keychains, mugs, pretty much everything.
All right, well, thank you very much. Best of luck today.
Thank you.
I'm here at the Bionic booth with Mr. Costas. Costas, what's going on over here?
Over here, we have 8 custom PCs. The gamers over here play Apex or CSGO. We have custom PCs with those cases. They made only 2,000 cases, and we have 4 of them only. It's not for sale.
Question to you. At the point we are now, okay, with all the Comic Cons and all the stuff happening, do you think that a professional cosplayer is a viable career?
Oh, that's a very difficult question.
Well, I start difficult.
Yeah. The thing is, I would still say it's very, very difficult to look from it.
Okay. Because usually what I do the most is I get hired by the companies to make a costume, to build the costume, and then to wear it for promotion stuff. That's where my money comes from. But usually it's like merch and selling prints, and I never do that, for example, because of the copyright. When you when you sell a print, you have to ask for permission. I know that's not common. Usually the publishers don't care. They say, do it, but you should ask. And I work with all the publishers. So if I want to sell something, I ask. For example, the Witcher calendar. Yeah. We sold a Witcher calendar, a sexy Witcher calendar, and we sold over 4,000 calendars. And I worked on that with CD Projekt together and was officially licensed. But when you don't care about copyright, you can live from that. But in my case,
it's illegal.
It's kind of illegal, yeah. So, but I also have my company with my wife since over 10 years now, and we always build costumes and props for the gaming industry, and that is another reason why I take care of the copyright stuff, because it's a big company behind all that. So I always have to have a clean profile.
Okay, so you have a company making costumes. So if I want to cosplay like someone, okay, can I contact your company and be like, hey guys, I want to cosplay as this character, can you make me a costume?
You could, but there's another difficult question.
Again, I don't do easy.
You can imagine we have a core team of 5 people. All of them are specialists in something. For example, I do all the armor stuff, the hardware, like the swords, the armor, the medallion. That's what I do. Then we have a tailor for the clothing. My wife does makeup and weathering,
and everything that has to do with colors. But sometimes she made the West as well. So
Okay.
she's an all-rounder, but her special skill is colors. And then we have a 3D artist for all the 3D printers we have. And sometimes we have to try out stuff in virtual reality. And that is why we have this guy. And then we have an all-rounder in the workshop, and he does the work nobody wants to do. So it's a core team of 5.
Brings coffee, stuff like that.
Yes, yeah, for example, and cleaning up and sanding. We sand a lot. And yeah, you can imagine when 5 people are working on a costume for 6 weeks that it gets very expensive.
Right.
So
sorry to interrupt you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just so you know, guys, we're here. We're having a discussion. I'm asking questions all the way. But if you have questions to ask, feel free to interrupt me. Just raise your hand and be like, "Hey, dude, I want to ask a question. I'm gonna come to you." All right? Okay. So let's go back. What was the first thing you ever cosplayed?
The first what?
The first character you ever cosplayed. See, an easy one.
Yeah, that's easy. Not totally easy.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I would say it's Darth Maul. That's where my name comes from. Maul
okay,
cosplay.
yeah.
Yeah. But it was not the very first. But it was the first character I put a lot of effort in. So the first one was the Crow, but it was only made in one night because my sister wanted to go to convention. All her friends canceled, so she was alone, and she asked me if I could come
such a
with
nice brother.
Yeah,
Good
of
on
course,
you.
I'm a nice guy.
I have sisters too. I would do that for them.
You know that feeling, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I said, okay, I want to have a costume when I go with you. And then I made the Crow. It's only white and black makeup and the coat, that's it. And I wouldn't call that costume. So one year, at the same convention where I went to with my sister, I met Ray Park, the actor of Darth Maul. And he told me that he is a stuntman, not really an actor, more a stuntman. And then I said, hey, a stuntman is a cool job. I want to become a stuntman as well. And then, yeah, that's what I did. I went to a big stunt school in Germany.
Seriously? You just went up and said, hey, I'm going to be a stuntman.
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent. I admire that.
Yeah,
really do.
I was young. I didn't know what to do in my life, so stuntman is a cool job. Yeah.
As you do.
So I became a stuntman, and I worked on many movies and TV shows and live shows in Germany. It's not Hollywood stuff, but Germany.
Did you get injured in it? Cause
yeah,
I know,
of course, sometimes.
I know, because the stuntman is such a risky business. I mean,
it is, but you are prepared for what will happen. So you think about it. You don't just jump. You think about that. You know?
okay, you're like, okay, I'm going to jump off a 2-story building now.
I need a mat.
I need a mat.
Yeah. So I became a stuntman. And 1 year later, after the convention I went to with my sister, there was a Star Wars stunt show. And I played Darth Maul. And I made the costume for it. So everything started somehow with Darth. All right, sorry to interrupt, guys. We're here in the front. People are starting to walk on in. We're about to hop into Hall 6, get some interviews, see what's going on in here. All right, so we're here in the front of Hall 6, here with Christopher, if you don't remember. How's everything going?
All good, all good. Yeah, everybody's coming in now. Ticket booths have opened, and the flood of people has started, so it's going good. I think everybody's having fun. A lot of cosplay people coming around, I can see, coming in through the door, so it's looking good. I'm excited to see what you guys film as well around the place.
And what do you got going on over here?
Over here we've got our merch, so we've got our CCC t-shirts. This is designed by our graphics designer and part of the team. 15 euros. We've also got the White Walker limited edition whiskey.
Okay.
35 euros for that. We have 3 Game of Thrones people on location. So if you pick that up, then you've got the chance to get 3 signatures as well. If you want to pay the extra down there and get those signed, because they are limited edition bottles. And then we've got our poster as well. And we're just helping everybody out, whatever they need. So that's us down here.
That's quite the mix. T-shirts and whiskeys. All right, well, Chris, thank you again. We'll be seeing you soon.
All right.
We're here in front of Gamers Boulevard booth, and we're going to get a couple of details on that. So what's going on here?
Hello. It's Comic Con. We're really excited. So we have exciting prices and stuff that are Comic Con exclusive for everyone. Those are our mystery bags. One of them has a very lucky Nintendo Switch, and they contain merchandise that's really, really discounted just for the Comic Con. We have pull-ups, we have shirts, we have figures, we have everything. So please come to us.
How much do these mystery bags cost?
They're from 20, 25, and 35. And yeah, everything is way, way higher than those prices inside.
And what can people expect to find in them?
From T-shirts, hoodies, collectibles, figures, keychains, mugs, pretty much everything.
All right, well, thank you very much. Best of luck today.
Thank you.
I'm here at the Bionic booth with Mr. Costas. Costas, what's going on over here?
Over here, we have 8 custom PCs. The gamers over here play Apex or CSGO. We have custom PCs with those cases. They made only 2,000 cases. So, and we have 4 of them only. It's not for sale. Yeah. Like here, it's a very powerful PC with i9 processor, RTX 2080, custom liquid cooling. Wow. We have the best esports monitors for games. And here we have a raffle with a Batman custom case and custom liquid PC. We have the raffle, it's here only 2 euros. And one winner will take it tomorrow home.
Oh, wow. That looks really cool. And when are they going to announce it?
Tomorrow at 7 p.m.
Okay. Yeah. And how do people buy the raffle tickets?
We have here, the ladies over here, they buy, it's 2 euros each. They can buy, how can I say it? You're going to cut, right?
Yeah.
You can buy as many raffles as you want.
All right. Yeah. And do you have other things for sale here?
Yeah, any peripherals you want. We have Razer, Asus ROG, Republic of Gamers. We have Zoe, it's esports enable. We have Turtle Beach. We have Logitech Gaming, and we have Corsair.
All right, Mr. Costas,
so
thank you
all
very
the brands.
much.
Thank you very much.
Really appreciate your time.
Thanks.
I'm here with Mike at Merchaholics booth right now. Mike, tell us a little bit what's going on over here.
So basically, we're selling keychains. We are Merchaholics, and we have a variety of keychains from PUBG, Fortnite, even Apex, and from Marvel and DC as well. So we have a lot of Funko Pop keychains. You can find them here, and yeah. Things are going right.
Nice. How much do they cost around, estimated?
So average, they cost around 5 euros.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right, well, Mike, thank you for your time. Have a great day, my man.
Have a great day.
I'm here with Mr. Vasilis at the Armageddon booth. Mr. Vasilis, what do we have going on over here?
We have a big range of gaming gear. We start from PC cases, keyboards, headsets, mice, power supplies, anything the gamer would need, up to T-shirts and bags.
All right, perfect. So what's your most popular item going for right now?
Right now we have very popular gaming mice and keyboards, which we have up front, and a range of headsets.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Vasilis, for your time. Have a great day. I'm standing here with Mr. Savas. Mr. Savas, I see some incredible artwork over here. Can you please tell us something about it?
Yep, this brand is called Anexidilon. It's my brand of making products. I design them, I make them, I create artworks on any surface. It's about airbrushing and custom paint jobs. It's not only for automotive things like helmets, like cars, like motorcycles, but it's only as well for musical instruments, for human body, for something like graffiti or wall paintings, mural arts, you name it.
And if somebody wanted to get this done, how could they come in contact with you?
They can contact me via internet. They can enter my website. It's called Anexidilon. It's like -art.com. Or they can find me Savas Goureas Anexidilon. Yeah.
Mr. Savas, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Have a great day.
Cheers.
I'm here with Mr. Chris at the Sacred Tooth booth. Mr. Chris, you got some incredible T-shirts and hats over here. Can you tell us a little bit about your brand?
Yeah, we started back in 2015 as a startup brand, and we're building up with the collection and quality. So here we are now presenting some new prints, which is with the traditional good old way, silk screen way, and we have some new tote bags, some new tracker hats, and also we start building up the collection, kids collection clothing. Okay. We have started like a couple of months ago. We're coming up with new designs, bigger logos and everything.
Perfect. And then what's your price range around?
We're starting like it's for 20 euros, 40 euros a hoodie. It depends what you're going to do. We're affordable.
Perfect. And where can people find you?
We're online. Perfect. For the moment, we're online, and you can find us through Instagram and Facebook. You can contact us, and we can arrange the delivery and everything.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great day.
You have to be careful of England's sprinkling. That's all I'm going to say. All right. I see what you're saying. So we are going to Battlefield. Yeah, and this is the main game? Yeah, game one? Yes, game one. Here we go. Oh, we have another gentleman's agreement, or they just Mexican stand-up right there. They're talking at each other. Another draws first play. Torrance back there is something everyone should be careful of. She is scary. She is utility after Wazoo.
I'm here with DJ Beatcast in front of Ola DJ's lab.
Oh, man.
All right, so what we got going on over here, man?
We are Ola DJ. Can I talk in Greek?
You can talk whatever you want, my man.
Thanks, man. Είμαστε Ola DJ εδώ κατάστημα. Έχουμε εξοπλισμό για DJs, obviously. Speakers, controllers, mixers, turntables, vinyl records. Έχουμε δισκάδικο next door. Έχουμε ακαδημία με DJ lessons. Το οποίο προσπαθούμε σιγά σιγά να σπρώξουμε λίγο το community στην Κύπρο. Να κάνουμε νέα πράγματα, να βγει λίγο...
Are you going to have any of your students playing for us today?
Yeah, of course. We got a huge lineup till 9 o'clock at night. And we're just getting started, to be honest.
Perfect.
We got Asmo Brothers right now. They're specialized in Arturia products and teenage engineering, pocket operators. They play this techno-style, minimalish kind of stuff. I think we're going to have a...
And if people wanted to sign up for your classes, I mean, how could they find you?
They can find us through our cards, stickers, we got everything, contacts. We got a QR code for scanning, takes you right to our website. Basically, that's it. You get a free DJ lesson with buying a controller, and you come to us and We figured it out.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time, my man. Best of
που βλέπουμε, έτσι.
Like the more hardcore cosplayers, when they say no, you have to live the character. You have to be the character.
Yeah, sure. Of course, you have to play a little bit. It's like cosplay. It's not just a costume.
There you
cosplay.
go.
No? But I think people shouldn't take it too seriously because, of course, when I walk around as Geralt, I can just walk like this. It should work like a warrior, you know, like enter the room like this. So of course, but it's not. I know some people.
That deserves an applause, I think. Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, thank you.
That's the guild walk.
But sometimes people are, you know, in character the whole day, and I think that's too much.
Yeah.
So sometimes I know some cosplayers who stay in character, who are like well-known cosplayers, and they stay in character all the time, and they meet their followers, and they're always like they're super serious. Don't you smile? Don't you like that? No, I'm in character. So okay, okay, good. I'll leave it like that. Yeah.
I'm Anakin Skywalker. I'm gonna kill kids.
Yeah, that's sad, and I'm angry, but I don't know why. But
and sand goes everywhere. Bloody hate sand.
Leads to the dark side.
Okay, what's the funniest encounter you ever had as a cosplayer? I bet you have like loads of funny encounters. Just tell us the funniest one.
I don't know if they are funny.
Well, funny or tragic, we're gonna laugh anyway.
Yeah.
So
Tragic, yeah. Of course, there are always funny moments, but not really hilarious. But there are two moments. For example, what I like the most is when the people don't know me, Ben. They don't know more cosplay or Ben. They don't know me, but they know the character, and then they're freaking out. That's always perfect because then I did a good job. So then it happened to me. I think 2015, there was a girl. I was dressed as Snake from Metal Gear Solid, and she. I think nobody knew me. Even the Facebook page More Cosplay didn't exist, so she couldn't know me. So and then she saw me, and she was like the girls in a Michael Jackson concert. You know, she collapsed and she was crying, and it was terrible to watch because what happened? What did I do? And her friends had to drag her to me to take a picture, and then they dragged her out because she was like you know, you see that in a concert, like a boy band or with Michael Jackson. You know, the girls who are passing out. So it happened to
happens
to
to
her.
everyone. Not me, but I guess it happens to people.
Yeah, but that was because of the character, not because of me, and that's a compliment. It's a big compliment because for her there was a real Snake from the game standing in front of her. That was a funny moment. Then there was another interesting thing. For example, I get pictures, you know, from girls, sometimes men. They send it to me.
Okay.
And there was a girl.
When we say pictures. Okay.
Yeah, there was a girl from the Philippines, and she was married and she had kids, but she looked good, and she sent me pictures, you know. Pictures. And I said.
For those who didn't understand that.
So she sent me pictures like almost every day, and in the beginning I said, well, thank you for that. Yeah.
I didn't ask for
looks good though. Yeah. And
8 out of 10. There's some room for improvement.
And yeah, after a few days I said, okay, I'm good now, so I know how you look, so thank you. I'm married. And but she didn't stop. And then I stopped to respond. I didn't text back. And then one day she sent me a picture of her arms cut, bleeding.
Ouch.
Yeah, it looked real. So it wasn't fake. I think it was real. And she wrote, I can't take it anymore that you don't respond to me. So, okay. And I put the cell phone away, so okay.
Wow.
So
that went dark.
Yeah, that was strange, but yeah, 2 days later I got another picture from her ass, and then she's still alive. So
she's still sending
yeah,
pictures.
but I didn't respond So I
Yes.
stopped there.
All right, guys, do we have a question for Ben here? All right, then I will keep going.
It's your turn now, though.
Yeah, it's always my turn. For some reason, I don't know
Yeah,
why.
you have good questions. So.
Oh, thank you. Difficult ones.
Yeah. So give me another one.
Yeah, okay, I'll shoot you another one then. So you're 39, so basically you're like a pioneer of cosplaying. I mean, you've been here since the start, let's say, since people thought it was like, okay, that's weird. Well, people now are like, wow, that's amazing. And how do you feel that cosplay has entered into the mainstream and it's now not only socially accepted, but people are actually yearning to see these characters when they go into Comic Cons and stuff like that? How does that make you feel?
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah,
Thank you.
because in the beginning we were all freaks. Yeah, it's really like that. I mean, at the convention itself it was okay, but in public it was always weird. For example, I went to Gamescom in Germany. It's the biggest gaming convention in the whole world. So really, it's the biggest and the most impressive one. And I've been there when nobody went there in costume, and I went there in costume. So it was strange, even at Gamescom. But yeah, over the years, now it's a big thing at Gamescom. And
I would love it if people go.
Sorry?
I would love it if people just go there, see you in costume, be like, wow, the graphics on this game are amazing.
It's 8K. No, it's awesome because it's not a good feeling to be judged by people because you're wearing a costume and you like it and you put a lot of passion and work and effort in it, and people are judging you. It's like, oh, what kind of freak is that? You're wearing a costume. Look at the silly guys. It's sad because, for example, in Germany we have Carnival, you know, where people dresses like a clown just for fun. Everybody accept that, but as a cosplayer, there were hard times, and I don't understand that because it's an art, and it's the highest expression of passion to the character, and it's only good. It's only a good thing when you do that and you meet with people, with other cosplayers. You can talk about that. You can talk about the franchise or the fandom. You can talk about cosplay. You get connected very fast. It's only a good thing. There's nothing negative about cosplaying. Nothing. And now it's a good thing that it's accepted. So not fully. It's still a little bit weird when my wife is a lot younger than me, when she said to their parents that this cosplay thing, the company and more cosplay will be her main job, and she quit everything else. Of course, their parents were angry.
Yeah, I'm guessing not very accepting of that.
Yeah, now it's working out pretty good. We have a big company building. We have a big car. It's everything working out.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Everything
and now
worked
they
out.
are okay. It worked out, so we're good. Now they like me.
Okay, so you listen to Ben. It's not good to judge. And if you feel judged of being a freak for liking stuff like that, hey, welcome. There's loads of us here. We have T-shirts.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Do we have a question for Ben? Is there something you want to ask him? What about him or the character? Or should I just go on?
Yeah, it seems like.
Yeah, it seems that I should go on. Right? Okay.
So next difficult question.
Okay, let's go to the next question. What's next for you?
Morgan.
After that. No, okay. What's the next step you want to take the company?
Whew, that's a good question.
Yeah. Plus, I want your tax returns.
Okay, to be honest, there's I wouldn't say company because it's a mix nowadays. We have the company. We started with only the company, then more cosplay. The brand got well known. That's why I'm here, because people know me.
Thankfully.
And it's more about more cosplay now than the company. So I was thinking about the future of more cosplay. What's the next step for that, for example? We learned that all the traveling around the world to conventions is very, very exhausting. And not only the conventions as a cosplay guest, but we work for, as I said, many publishers all over the world at conventions to promote the character. And it's very exhausting. And I speak for me and my wife. It got too much that we would stay a little bit more at home. So we try to do more social media from home, like more content, more photo shootings, photo shoots, more streams like Twitch, for example, from the workshop. Do more stuff like that, and not traveling so much. That's the next step, because it's more comfortable. It's because, for example, 2018 we had till December we had no day off, so it was only working, maybe two days off.
Wow.
But we worked on so many costumes. For example, we worked on Cyberpunk, the 2 costumes, and we talked about Cyberpunk 1 year before. So you already knew the design, but they changed it, and they said always, yeah, wait, we have to change something. And we said, hey, we need 6 months to get it done. But then, not even 4 weeks, they said, okay, now you can go. Okay, thank you. 4 weeks, yeah, for 2 costumes. And then we worked on that, 16 hours at least a day, most of the time more. Then we were done. We went to LA for E3 to show the costumes, the characters. And then at the evening of E3, we went back home to work on 3 costumes in 12 days for a Japanese company, to fly back to LA again to work on a convention with these costumes, and then we went back home again. So it's always like working, going convention, going back, working, convention, going back. And that was like that mostly all of the time of 2018. And so that is why we decided to make more content from home, not traveling so much. But it's good for the people who follows me, because they get more content. It's better for them and for us and for our health.
Okay. The gentleman over there.
A question.
Yes.
Any what? Hobbies. Yeah, it was cosplay.
No. It was cosplay. He turned it into a profession.
Yeah, it's really like that. It was cosplay and let's say working out, but now both is kind of my job, because I have to look good for the pictures. So I have to work out. It's not only just for fun. It's like, now I have to work out. I have to look good. I have to build costumes. It's like, it's always a question. People say that it's fantastic to turn their hobbies to a job. Of course, it's good, but it gets a job. And
any other?
Usually it's gaming as well. I like to play a lot, but I don't have time to play. Perhaps I have so many unpacked games at home. I get many games for free from the publishers, but I can't play them because I don't have time for that. I played Red Dead Redemption, but that's what I said. I played it in December because we always try to go on vacation in December. So I was on Red Dead Redemption vacation to play the game. We went to Denmark to an isolated house near the beach just to play Red Dead Redemption. And we played it for 3.5 weeks. So yeah, that's the only time I can play games. Okay. I played a few hours a few weeks ago. So that is a hobby as well. But the gaming industry is as well my job. So I don't have hobbies anymore. That don't have to do anything with my job. So yeah.
I'll give you my address for those unpacked games, by the way. We have a question. The lady over there.
2 questions, yeah.
The guy over there. Yeah, we all know here.
Great.
Do we have, where's the mic? Guys, can
you still have it?
Can you just pass it to the lady there? And please, when you're done, can you just pass it to the gentleman in the back? Can we have your question, please? If you just press this here.
Hello?
There you go.
Right. Which cosplay took you the longest to make?
That's hard to tell because there's always a deadline and we always have to get it done in a few weeks. So there's no costume which took longer than 6 weeks because we have to get it done. It's always about deadlines and the publishers always ask too late. Right now we are working on Arthur Morgan for many weeks, but only because there are other jobs in between. I think I'm working on Arthur Morgan since like 3 months now, but it's not like 3 months in a row. It's just because there's other stuff to do. So, but usually it's like 6 weeks. That's the average time. But usually we only have 2 weeks for the work of 3 months.
Wow. Okay, the guy in the Arctic Monkeys t-shirt, are you going to sing or?
I can hear you. Overrated?
Ouch. Thank you for coming and saying that. Seriously, you just came to say that Witcher 3 is overrated.
You like Fallout and Skyrim? Yeah. I haven't played them. I don't know. And I haven't played The Witcher completely, so I can't tell. But I think with all the trophies they got, when you enter the building of CD Projekt, the lobby area, and you see all the trophies there, because the whole wall, and it's a huge wall, is covered with trophies. And even Triss Merigold was in the Playboy, a gaming character in the Playboy, in the real Playboy. I think so many people aren't wrong. So I think it's your opinion. I don't like role-play games, so it's not my game. But I see the effort and the attention to detail and all the passion they put in it, which is pretty rare in gaming companies. Because, for example, we worked a lot for Ubisoft. And I never met anyone from Ubisoft who played Assassin's Creed. But when you talk to people from CD Projekt, everybody played The Witcher, everybody. They are gamers. So gamers made a game for other gamers. So it has to be good. And that's a really, really good company. It's a young company, and they got so successful with only one game. And the people from the beginning are still there. And it's like one of a kind, the CD Projekt. They are really fantastic. And they always try to satisfy everybody. When there's something wrong with the game, they fix it, or the DLC is only 20 euros, it's pretty cheap.
Which is amazing in today's gaming industry.
Yeah, yeah.
Just giving back to the community.
Yeah, they are fantastic. And of course, it's your opinion. And
I admire that level of pettiness and commitment that you just showed up to say, you guys suck. I admire that level of pettiness. Okay, guys, do we have another question? Some of the people who just came in? Right, okay, so
your turn again.
It's my turn again. Wow, it's my turn, the whole thing. Wow, okay.
It's hot here, right? You're wearing a t-shirt.
Well, yeah, but I'm fat, so.
I'm sweating.
Okay, so here's a question I actually wanted to ask. How do you feel about women getting
I like
more...
them.
Yeah, I know. I've heard about the pictures. So getting more into cosplay and be like more accepted now into this level, into this world of like fantasy, it's kind of male dominated so far, but now like women are making this entrance and they're breaking in, and the whole level, the whole field is being leveled.
So you think that women...
Well, I think that women were a bit overlooked when it came to cosplay in the past.
Okay. I have a completely different opinion.
Seriously? Well,
yeah. I think cosplay is still more a women's thing. I think it's still dominated by women. Yeah. Who said that?
Wow, who was that?
But it's I don't know why. Maybe it's because as a man, you know, like dressing up as your favorite character, maybe it's more a child thing, and men don't want to do it because it's like, you know, I'm a man, I don't do that. And women, what is it coming from? Who said
no
that?
idea. Someone, okay, dude, come on.
Yeah, I think it's still a women's thing, but only like 60 to 40%. It's not like totally dominated, but I think it's more women. For example, I think in cosplay contests, I still see more women. And I would still say that women are the better cosplayers when it comes to detail and craftsmanship. Yeah. I think, there it is again. What's happening there?
Nah,
the tech guys.
Nah, somebody has the mic and does things. We're going to need that mic later on, or we're going to charge you for it.
Who has the mic? So
guys, come on. We're gonna need the mic. Right.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Okay. Do you guys have a final question for our guest, or should we release him back to the wild?
I can stay here for a while. No problem.
Oh, okay. Do you
So did I answer the question properly?
Yeah, you said that it was mainly female-dominated. Now, in your opinion, you feel that 60-40 is like female-dominated, and they're more attentive to detail. See, I pay attention.
Really good.
Thank you. Guys, do you have another question? Oh, there we go. Okay, before you start, guys, we want the mic for the lady in the front.
Is it really a question or something like that before? Okay, what is the question? Yeah, you could say that, but of course there are costumes I want to do by myself, like Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption or Joel from The Last of Us. That's what I want to do. But usually the companies ask me if I can do this or that to promote their character. And it's like 80% of the time, 80% of the costumes I build is for companies. Usually I wear them. Sometimes I build, or my company, builds costumes for models. Happens as well. But usually it's, they ask me if I could do that. Of course I can say no if I don't like the character. But when it's interesting and I like it, it's always good when I like it very much. For example, I made Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. They asked me to do that. And I'm a Mortal Kombat fan, so that was very good. But sometimes I don't know the character at all. I work for a Japanese company, for example, that's a Japanese card game like Hearthstone or Gwent. Nobody knows it here, but in Japan it's a really big thing. So I don't know the character, but I liked it. The design looks cool. They asked me, and then I do it. Yeah. No. Sorry.
Well, I don't think you're too nice if you do Genji. I mean, it's like a full mask, and it seems very complicated doing that.
Yeah, that's true. But I did Soldier 76.
Oh, did you now?
Yeah, but that was terrible as well.
Why?
Because the mask was. It's always when it comes to armor mask, not a helmet. It always has to be very tight to your face, that it doesn't look like a helmet. Otherwise it looks too big and silly, so it has to be very tight to your face. And I couldn't breathe, I couldn't see. That was terrible to wear, but we took some cool pictures, and after that I gave it to Blizzard because Blizzard asked me to do that.
All right, okay. The lady here had a question.
Hello.
Hello.
The costume is fantastic, actually.
Thank you very much.
What is the most interesting part in a cosplay for you? I mean, maybe it's to create the costume or play the role, like when you're acting. Feel that emotions.
Yeah, I like both. But wearing it is always the best part when all comes together and you wear it for the first time. The first time I put on Scorpion, for example, that looks cool. I like that very much. So while you're working on it, you don't know how it will look afterwards when all the details are coming together. And then you wear it for the first time, and then it's like, yeah, man, I feel good. That's pretty cool. And my wife and me, we are the heads of our company, of course. And we are always very, very proud when we are done with a job. And we always try to pay attention to the tiniest detail. For example, you can mess it up with a bad wig. When you have a good costume, but you have a bad wig, it doesn't look like Geralt, it looks like somebody is wearing a costume. So everything has to be at least at 90% of perfection somehow. I wouldn't say that we are perfect in what we do, but we would never take a step back just because we don't know how to do this or that. Then we have to learn how to do that. And yeah, I like wearing it, of course, more than making it, but when I have enough time, I love making it as well. I love being in the workshop, but when you have a deadline and you are in the workshop for 16 hours, you don't want to be in the workshop anymore. But walking around in the costume, meeting fans of the game, and they are freaking out is the best part. That's definitely the best part. I'm not talking about my fans. Of course, I love meeting my followers or fans, but the best part is when the people freak out because they know the character, not me. For example, when I walk around like this in Poland, you know.
I'm guessing you get a bit of a reaction there.
Yeah, because in Poland, everybody...
I think Gerald is president in Poland.
Yeah, kind of. Everybody in Poland knows Geralt because they read the books in school. They really do. Yeah, they really do. Not 100%, but I would say 80% of the schools, they read at least one book in the school. So everybody knows Geralt. And when I walk around on the street, like, you know, after the convention, I still have to eat something, and I go to a restaurant, quickly grab some food, and I walk around like this. People in the cars are stopping, screaming. It's like Jesus walking on the street, like when I walk around like this.
You should cosplay like Jesus.
I did that once for a music video, but that was funny. Yeah, it was a metal band. But that was a long time ago. You're welcome.
Okay, guys, any other questions? Ooh, there's a guy over there.
Oh, that's a question. What is your question?
Do you want Pringles?
Maybe later when I come off stage, so I can come back to you.
Thank you
for the offer.
At least you're nice. Thank you very much for the offer.
No, that was nice.
Yeah, but he only offered it to you. He didn't offer it to me. I'm a bit offended, but okay.
Yeah, but I'm the Witcher, so.
Well, yeah.
Maybe with the costume, it would work in your case as well.
You're the Witcher. I'm the Vater here, so.
You're my sidekick.
I think side war mostly. Any other question, guys?
So now it's your time again.
It's my turn again. Wow, it's keep passing it back to me over and over and over.
Yeah, but you're good. You're good in it.
Oh, do you think so? Thank you very much. What's your absolute best convention to go to? What's the con? And you're allowed not to say Cyprus Comic Con. We're good. Okay. What's the con you say? Oh God, I have to be there. I love it. I love being there.
Yeah. Okay, that's of course Gamescom in Germany.
Yeah.
But it's not a convention like this here. It's all about gaming and all about the gaming publishers who wants to present their game. So it's really mind-blowing when you enter the halls of Gamescom. I grew up with Gamescom because it's only 60 kilometers from my home city, and I always thought that there are bigger or better conventions in the world, like E3 is the most important one because all the big announcements are happening there. I always thought E3 in LA, you know, Americans, bigger, better, louder. I thought about that, but it isn't. Like E3 is like, Gamescom has 10 halls and E3 has 2 halls, and the 2 halls are smaller than one hall at Gamescom. So it's tiny compared to Gamescom, and they don't spend that much money like the companies are spending at Gamescom. For example, the booth of Blizzard at E3, the most important gaming convention in the world, is like maybe a third of this hall. That's the booth of Blizzard. But the Blizzard booth at Gamescom is, imagine just a real big convention center hall, one whole hall. That's the Blizzard booth at Gamescom.
Wow.
So it's impressive when you enter the halls because it's dark, all the light and sound effects and all the big stages. And Blizzard, for example, they built a whole city, like when the Panda theme.
The Mist of Pandaria.
Yeah, there were a lot of Chinese buildings in the hall. It was like a village. And I like that because of that. But when it comes to a convention like this here, it's another convention at the same location. It's in Cologne. Now it's different, but last year it was called Roleplay Convention. It started as a convention from fans, for fans. They made it. It was very passionate, There were huge, how can I say that? Camps of fans, like a apocalyptic theme, huge area, like Mad Max. Everything looked like Mad Max, or you have a Star Wars area where the TIE fighter and X-Wing and many stormtroopers, many fan things were there. And I like it when conventions are not about only selling stuff and merchandise, more like fans with passion to the fandom or the franchise. And those two are in Cologne. So that's very good for me because I live very close to that.
Okay, there you go.
But What I also like is very tiny conventions. Very
I
small,
want you to do
very small ones.
a thinking exercise now.
Okay, what is it?
Let's say you were a woman. What what female character would you like to cosplay as?
Oh.
I've stumped you, and I'm 1 hour into the interview.
That's a
I've
good
been
question.
winging it for like 45 minutes.
Which female character? Huh. I think I would go for a superhero, definitely. Maybe
Captain
Supergirl.
Marvel. Supergirl?
Supergirl, yeah. Because I'm a huge Superman fan, and I can't cosplay Superman because he doesn't have a beard. But
well, you can shave.
Yeah, but I don't look good without a beard. So
Neither do I. If I shave my beard, the only hair on my face is my eyebrows, and I look ridiculous.
you could shave it as well.
Yeah.
But you don't feel comfortable with only the eyebrows. No, it's Supergirl because when I'm a girl, I don't need to have a beard. So
there you go.
And I can be Supergirl with the same superpowers.
Well, yeah. Okay. Right. Cool. So, guys, do we have another question for Maul here?
Nobody has a question.
Oh, we have one. The lady over there. The lady with the white T-shirt. Guys, can you just give me a second? Guys, the mic. Can you please,
there's the
can you
mic.
please
Still
pass
there.
it to that lady?
Hi, is this on? By the way, it's not a white T-shirt. It's a Battle of the Planets T-shirt for those of my generation.
Yeah, I'm 39. I can't see over there.
I wanted to ask you, how do you see the future of cosplay and whether you see a young generation being as interested in it as their parents, let's say? How do you see it developing? Kids who are now in primary school, whether they would still be interested in 20 years from now? Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I think as cosplay gets more popular over the last years, over the last, I think, 5 to 7 years, it's more accepted. And now the cosplayers from back in the days, they have children nowadays, and they grow up as tiny cosplayers. So I think we will get a whole new big generation of cosplayers where everything is accepted. I hated to talk about acceptance in the cosplay thing because it always sounds like a bad thing, but it's like...
It is definitely not.
Yeah, but...
Can we please have an applause for our cosplayer here? Can we just show him this is not a bad thing? There you go.
Okay, great. Yeah, but I think the future, I see a bright future for cosplay because it gets more and more accepted. And we started in cosplay, nobody wanted to give us money for cosplaying for a game. So as I do it now. Now I get a lot of money, to be honest, when they ask me. But 5 years ago, when they asked me, hey, could you do this or that for our company? I said, yeah, but I want to have money for that because I'm working for you whole day. And they say, no, you get a free ticket. You can enter the convention. So, wow, I can go inside for free to work for you. That's awesome. And that happened a lot. But nowadays it's different. So they realized that cosplay has a value because it's always good to have the characters at the booth to promote the game. And I see a bright future. So, but I think there is no big evolution anymore. It's like kind of how it is right now, but only more cosplayers. And yeah, I think that's it. So I see only good stuff. It's getting better and better. Better materials, bigger, better conventions, more conventions.
Thank you very much, sir. We're going to have to wrap this up to get ready for our next guest. Please give a warm Cyprus applause for Mo here. Thank you very, very much for coming. Thank you very, very much, and we're going to see you guys in a while. Thank you.
Okay, as we say in Germany, tschüss. Do you know tschüss?
Let's choose.
Goodbye means tschüss. Tschüss in
Tuesday.
German.
Okay.
Tschüss.
back here, Comic Con Cyprus 2019. I'm here with Mr. Peter, one of the head organizers over here. Mr. Peter, how's it going so far?
So far, so good. The weather's treating us well. We were expecting a bit of rain. We did have a bit of rain, and the sun's come out, and people are still flowing in. So it's pretty wonderful so far.
Do you have an estimate of our attendance so far, or is that coming at the end?
It'll come at the end, but we're on track. It's looking like we're going to be at least as big as the last time.
Perfect. And how is everyone enjoying? I mean, how do you see the emotions, the feelings going on around so far?
I mean, I've just come from the Retro Computer Museum booth, and it's just amazing to see people from newer generations playing on older generation hardware. Little kids of 5 years old playing kind of Bomb Jack that was released in probably the early 90s or late 80s, and just having a blast.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
like, these games are older than you.
Exactly, but they transcend generations. You know, it's fantastic.
All right, I'm sure you're really, really busy, so thank you for your time, and we'll be seeing you around.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, we're here with Mrs. Galina at the University of Nicosia's booth. Can you tell us a little bit what's going on over here?
Yes, we're representing the University of Nicosia. We have our talented students from the program of design and multimedia that are showcasing their very important work as they work with characters, building different designs, etc. And of course, we're here to promote our programs in general, education, because it is important the young talents to be involved in all these activities that will bring them future careers. And Comic Con is the place to be.
Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm here with Apple in front of the Hallyu CY booth. Can you tell us a little bit what's going on over here?
Yeah, Hallyu is basically the Korean wave that's expanding throughout the world right now. And we're basically selling merchandise that we ordered for our fans here in Cyprus. And we gather the money in order to create more community group and stuff events where everyone can like join and enjoy and have a great time. Either that would be a movie night, karaoke, or just dancing.
All right, so what do you have on sale for us here today?
We have pepero made from our Hallyu creator, which is Crystal. She's not here at the moment, but you'll find her around. The one is peanut butter with milk chocolate, the other one is Oreo, and the other one is coconut with pistachio.
All right, and how much do these go for?
$1.50 each.
All right, thank you very much for your time. You have a great day, my man.
Thank you, you too.
I'm here with Panayotis in front of Mirror 3D Lab. Can you tell us a little bit what's going on over here?
Okay. We have a booth here with 64 DSLR cameras that we can 3D scan people. And from the 3D scan, we create a 3D model of a person that can be used for 3D printing, or we can use it for game engine and to create an avatar for a game engine that can move. Also, we can use it for virtual reality and other applications like augmented reality and for marketing purposes.
And how much do the action figures cost?
It depends on the size of the printed size, but we have an offer here for Comic Con that we can start from €69 for the small one, that is 1 to 12 scale.
Okay.
It goes up, yes.
And how can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, our website that is mirror3dlab.com. Just search Mirror 3D Lab and you will find many sources.
Thank you very much for your time,
Thank
man.
you.
Have a great day. We're here in front of the scrapyard booth. We're going to get some little information about that. What's going on over here?
We have this competition running for the third time through Comic Con. It's about building a computer with €250.
Okay.
So the guys here have to pick parts up to €250, and the rest of the stuff you see as computer looks, they have to build from scrap.
Okay.
So anything you see here, it's made from scrap.
And €250.
The internal parts of the computers are actually all of them around the ballpark of €250. Let's say maybe less, maybe more. But we're trying to give to the people that you can actually still game on a budget of €250.
I thought that was impossible until you just said it.
That was the idea. That's why we said, okay, we're going to build up the community, and we're going to show the people that even with only €250, you can actually build a computer that looks nice, performs amazing with the money you spend,
and you have a nice time doing it with friends here. Of course. So now we're going to have benchmarks go through the games that you play in 2019, and then everybody's going to vote for the most beautiful computer we have here, and we're going to give them the prizes.
All right, and when is that competition going to be held?
Now it's a competition of the benchmarks. We're having it now, and tomorrow it's going to be about the looks.
All right. All right, man. Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. I'm here with Angela. Angela, what do we have going on over here?
We are preparing the cosplayers psychologically. They get into character and we shoot them.
All right, perfect. How much do these pictures cost?
We have different packages, from print to digital to retouched to added effects and just simple photos.
No, that's perfect. What's the best cosplay you've seen so far today?
Today, there was a family from Witcher. I'm not sure, but they were.
Welcome, Anthony Daniels. Thank you. Some instances of 3PO's adventures over 42 years, over 9 movies. Did anybody see A New Hope? Anybody see A New Hope? Okay. Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace, Revenge of the Sith, The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, yeah? Well, you and your parents and your grandparents have been paying my salary for the last 42 years, and I'm very grateful. Thank you very much. Who can tell me what Star Wars is about? Who's a big fan? Who's a big fan? What is Star Wars about to you, sir? What is it about?
Story of the Jedi.
Story of the Jedi, really? What is Star Wars about?
Jar Jar Binks.
Star Wars is not about Jar Jar Binks, okay? It is so not about Jar Jar Binks. How dare you? How dare you? Actually, I was just with Ahmed Best in Chicago last week. What a great guy. And it was a great performance of character that George asked him to do, and Ahmed just acted so well. But it is not about Jar Jar Binks. What is Star Wars about? Yes? It is about C-3PO, the golden droid. Thank you. Thank you very much. You knew that all along, didn't you? Yes. So in 42 years, you can imagine I have a lot of stories to tell. But today, through the power of the Force, it is your chance to ask me questions, if you dare. Okay, so just bear in mind that as we sit here, because 42 years culminates in me being here at Cyprus Comic Con. How great is that? Give yourself a round of applause for being at Cyprus Comic Con. And of course, I have my beautiful Princess Leia to be with me at all times, and you can wave. Are you actually working? There we are, look. Quick wave there. So, so many of you Thank you. So many, because, darling, I'm the star of the show here, okay. You get 30 seconds of fame and then it's me. Okay. So many of you have not come in costume. Why? What? I'm sorry, a Pokemon t-shirt doesn't cut it for me. Although the hat is brilliant. What have you got there? They're not thermal detonators, are they? Somebody's wearing a thermal detonator. Oh, anyway. So yeah, if you have questions, then let's share it. But I got lots of stories. Because some of those things that happened to me way back in the day are so ingrained in my memory. And one of the things I loved reading the script was, of course, the way 3PO was also nervous. He was trained in protocol and etiquette. When did you last see anybody following the rules of etiquette or protocol in a Star Wars movie? None. Never again. But one of the things I liked was the way he responded to R2-D2. I thought it was magical. It was the writers, George and the other writers, had put together this odd couple. And I loved it. It just made so much sense. It was so human, and yet they were robots. However, on the day, picture this. We're out in Tunisia, and very sandy, difficult. And there is the sand crawler there, and 3PO had just been purchased by Uncle Owen and Luke Skywalker. And 3PO is going over to the dome. Do you remember the dome home where Anakin, and what was his name? Luke lived? Yes? Stay with me close. And if I get the names wrong, I have so many names in my head here. Okay, so help me. Luke lived there. And there was the dome home, and there were steps leading down. Do you remember? He goes outside. It's very difficult because 3PO does not do stairs. Okay? They're dangerous. Dangerous for his kneecaps. More dangerous for my kneecaps. Okay? So now comes up the point. There is the camera over there with George directing, the assistant director, Tony Way. He's the voice you hear all the time on the set, you know, action, turnover, all those kind of words. And more importantly, there is the guy with the remote controls for R2-D2. Because here we have this thing that is like an electric car, full of batteries and wires and radio things. So the scene starts, action, and 3PO kind of goes up to the home, turns round because we knew that Red had exploded and now R2 is coming here. So up comes R2, and 3PO says, "Now, don't you forget this. Why I should stick my neck out for you is quite beyond my programming." Cut. And I stopped on my mark here. 2 reasons I stopped on my mark. It was my mark. As a professional actor, I was doing what I was told. The second reason, if I took a step further, I would then fall all the way down the steps and join Mark Hamill down there with broken kneecaps, okay? So I stopped there. R2 didn't stop there. Suddenly, boom, I am being rammed from behind by this demented machine. This was the first scene I was in with R2-D2, the very first scene. And already it had decided to kill me. R2 wanted to be the star of the show, but as our friend said, Star Wars is about 3PO. So, as a professional person, I was standing there. They are running. They are now running from the camera as fast as they can because I am protecting it, because I knew this was a very expensive object, right? So I'm kind of doing that. So they come, they switch him off. We go back to what we call number 1. Number 1 is the first position that you started in. They go back to the camera. The guy with the controls goes back to the camera. And I hear action. Now, don't you forget this. Why I should stick my neck out for you is quite my capacity. Cut. Except R2 doesn't stop. If he was ramming me hard the first time, by this point he was going really for it. They're running again. So we go back to number 1 again. Action. And watch this. Why I should stick my neck out for you is quite beyond my capacity. And you watch the movie. I then go, and he stopped right on the mark. He was after me all the time. You watch the movie. You watch the movie. The second shock, and this was a real shock. That one was kind of an accident, because one day I did try the remote controls, and it was really difficult. I mean, you know, I had to give them away before I really wrecked it. But the other thing was more premeditated. In the original script, it says, 3PO says this, R2 beeps a response. 3PO replies, R2 blats an answer. Totally normal script. Me, it, me, it. Me, it. Me, it. Me, it, me, and so on. On the day, it came as a real shock, I promise you. There was a scene particularly I know it's raining outside, but here we have bottled rain. This is very, very strange. We'll leave it there. It can't fall any further. There was a scene particularly, and there's a picture on my table there of R2 here, 3PO here, out in the desert with 3PO saying, what a desolate place this is. I've got to rest before I fall apart. My joints are almost frozen. Wait a minute, where are you going? Nothing. Well, what makes you think there are settlements over there? Nothing. Oh, go that way. And I think I'd been standing there for 2 hours whilst they tried to get R2 to roll up. In the end, they put boards down out of sight, and they hauled it up on a piano wire, very strong wire. But at that point, I said to George, do you think somebody could go, I don't know, beep or something when I finish my line? Because it's very hard to think through the conversation with just me speaking. Could somebody, like, go beep or something? Oh, sure. Thank you. So we started again, and I got to rest before, what? Wait a minute, where are you going? Oh, beep. After that, I decided I was on my own. And it was very, very difficult because I had to learn the whole scenes, all of the scenes with R2, just making it up inside my head. But the first time I spoke was outside the Sandcrawler again. Do you remember? We're lined up with all the other droids. And my first line was something like, Uncle Owen comes up, do you speak Bachi? Well, I said, it's like a second language for me. And then I had the line, I'm the programming of binary load lifters. I couldn't say it. Action. Well, sir, my first job was programming. Cut. Do it again. Action. Do you speak? Yeah. Why, sir, my first job was. Cut. Action. Why, sir, my first job was. Cut. George came up to me, very close, looked in my face and said, don't worry about the voice. We can fix it later. You can say anything you want. How weird was that? I was used to being in plays where if you said something different than the script, the other actors would look at you like, what are you talking about? So, action, we did it for the because I could tell I'd already annoyed him. Why, sir, my first job was wah, 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 wah. Terrific, cut. And George was happy. What I didn't realize, when he said, we can fix the voice later, he really meant it. We carried on filming for 12 weeks. That's how long it took to do principal photography, the ones with cameras that film what you're doing, as opposed to special effects. And there we were. I had a microphone here and a transmitter. It was very bad quality. So you always have to replace actors' voices in these big films. And so finally I get to America. They ring up and they say, we need you in LA to put your voice on the movie. And I walk into the studio and the guy, the engineer, says, oh, you're Anthony. Well, it's incredible you got here finally, because we spent a couple of months looking for a voice for your character because, George really hates your oh, hi, George, here's Anthony, look. I didn't even say, hello, George. I was really shocked. I said, you hated my performance? And George, you could tell, was a bit embarrassed. He kind of went, well, I kind of never thought of him as being a British butler. I'd never thought of anything else. Had George said to me, this British butler thing's awful, don't do it, can you do something else? I would have tried. I would have offered him something different. He didn't ask me. So there I was putting my voice on, and finally, of course, that's the thing you hear in the movies. And interestingly, I had a little microphone here and a cable that went all the way around to a transmitter shoved up my butt. But remembering I was in Hollywood, everybody in Hollywood speaks out of their butt. So there were two things at the beginning that were very strange for me, working with the R2 unit, but of course working with Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill. And one of the things I think that makes 3PO very real is that Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, talks to 3PO as if he is a real, genuine helper, assistant, friend. And you believe Mark Hamill, you believe Luke Skywalker, and therefore you believe in C-3PO. And I think that's a pretty neat way of doing it. Has anybody got a question in the few minutes we have together? Think about it. I shall walk amongst you. I shall make it easy for you. It is your chance to star in this thing. And right at the front, can we have a camera somewhere here? Have you given up on us, sir? We're reloading. We're having a battery failure. And how many times did my eyes go out in a shot? And George would come up to me at the end of a shot and say, his eyes went out. I mean, full of anger and fury because I was wasting time in my face. And it wasn't my fault. It means that the battery pack, which are you able to, you can zoom in a bit. You can zoom in a bit. No, we can't zoom in a bit. It's very cheap production. My eyes would go out because I had a 6-pack of batteries behind me here. And of course, one day in episode 6, I was in agony. I thought my dresser, Toby, had left a screwdriver in my back because I used to annoy him so much. Actually, I loved him. He was terrific. What had happened, it wasn't a screwdriver digging into me. It was the batteries shorting out. I was being baked alive. And of course, in that costume, I can't get out, So you had a question. Where are you? Stand up. Stand up. Yeah. Oh, sit down. You're too tall. All right, come here. I always wanted to be tall, and I don't think it's ever going to happen, is it? Just back up a bit. I'm trying to get the lights to be about. What's your name?
Aris.
Aris. What's your question, Aris?
First of all, I just want to say I've really liked your work a lot. And yeah, now I want to say my question. So
No, let us say that again. What was it you liked about my work? He liked about my work, yes.
Well, when I was younger, I always used to have this C-3PO figure, and it was like one of my favorite toys. So, and I still have it to this very day. So when I heard you were coming to Comic Con, I was genuinely excited. And then I saw the prices to meet you, and I was like, not anymore.
Okay. Well, it does cost a lot to go. This time last week, I was in Chicago with all the other guys, so it does take a bit to get me. Do you still have your figure with you?
It's at my house.
It's at your house. Okay. Well, is it kind of, what's it like? Is it still in good condition?
I would think so, yeah.
So you played with it gently. It's not, because sometimes the figures can go a little floppy.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
It's gone a little floppy, has it? Because me too. You know, it's been some years. Well, but you were telling me how brilliant I was and how wonderful my acting is, weren't you? You suddenly went off about a toy. I don't make the toy. I act.
My question is, what does it feel like having a toy made after your character that you know kids would play with?
What is it like having a toy? It did come actually as a kind of shock. That's a close up there. Oh yeah. Anybody else got a floppy C3PO at home? You are the only one. No, this is good. You got a floppy one, right? Okay, and the gentleman there too. What I love is when people play with the toys. They don't leave him in boxes, collector's items. You know, they are made to be played with back in the day. And people do bring me really floppy 3POs with all the gold taken off because they've been played with so well. What other toys did you have? Sorry, you were telling me I was a brilliant actor? Yes. Yeah, and you got a toy. So, but tell me about my acting. What is so brilliant about it?
Well, I really liked what you were telling me about, not me specifically, all of us, about how you worked with R2-D2. I thought it was, I didn't actually know they programmed it and they had controls for it. I thought they just let it go, you know?
Well, they didn't. They did have controls, but frequently it would go off on its own because it would pick up the radios. You know, we are 40 years ago. And back then, technology, you know, wasn't like it is today. Now you have the R2-D2's Builders Club, who I hope maybe next year will come to Cyprus Comic Con, because they make these droids themselves, and they work perfectly. R2-D2 would regularly go off on its own, or just go crazy. He would pick up the radio signals from the walkie-talkie sets. More alarmingly, he would pick up if there was a local cab firm who, and so he would go driving off to some strange destination because he just received instructions to go and pick up a passenger. You think I'm kidding. And then, of course, yeah, look, it's a star, look at you, beautiful. When we were in the desert on Return of the Jedi, we were near Edwards Air Force Base, and that place is thick with radio signals, and he was picking up, now he wasn't just the local cab firm, he was flying jets, he was flying troop delivery vehicles, everything. And it was a very difficult job, which they did pretty well. We got through a bunch of controllers in the end. But of course, you believe everything in the movie. Sometimes it is being pulled on a wire, and sometimes Kenny Baker would be inside wobbling it. But as a piece of technology, it's really come on. About my acting again, we got on to R2-D2. How about my use of mind, the ability to create an emotion with a completely blank face? Was that pretty phenomenal?
Well, I think you answered.
I think it was very good, yes, I agree with you. Because it's not easy to... Don't sit down. I'm so bad, aren't I? Can you hold that whilst I do my shoelace, because you wouldn't want me to die. Thank you. So, better now. You see, on a film set, you have people to dress you. You don't have to tie up your own shoelaces. But here, Cyprus Comic Con, who can... Any questions from over here? Yes, we stand up. We have a camera somewhere near us, if I can find out. Look, are we on, I don't know the camera numbers. No, that's the screen. Yeah. Here's the camera. Yes, you don't look at the screen. Can you wave, please, cameraman? Can you wave? Thank you. See him wave. You think you've got it? Okay. Look at you. No, look at the camera. Here we go.
Yes, thank you very much for being with us here in Cyprus today. One of the things I like most in Star Wars is the way C-3PO delivers his lines, and I'm very glad that George Lucas kept the British butler type of... because that really adds a lot to the movie. And I just want to ask you, which one is your favorite line of all the lines you've delivered?
Well, first of all, thank you for those wonderful remarks about how brilliant I am. And the interesting thing is now, when I tell people that George wasn't going to use my voice at the beginning, but you know, he wasn't going to use Frank Oz's voice as Yoda. Oh, I mean, you can't imagine Yoda any other way, can you? And you honestly can't imagine 3PO any other way because you have been now kind of brainwashed that is 3PO, that's Yoda, and so on. So George, you know, had to go through a process of choosing the right voice. And your question was my favorite line? Yes. My favorite line. What's your favorite line? Do you remember?
In Return of the Jedi, when the door of Jabba the Hutt's palace opens and C-3PO goes, "Goodness gracious me."
Oh, that's right. Goodness gracious me. My favorite line is very short. It's, "We're doomed." Because the more you think about it these days, that was so prescient. But actually, the other line I do enjoy, or 3PO particularly enjoyed, was when, you know, remember Han Solo was always a bit mean to 3PO, yes? You know, a bit cruel, a bit bullying. I mean, basically, 3PO has been bullied over the last 9 movies. Do you realize this? He's been ignored, mistreated, ill-treated, put down. That's so sad, because he's always there to help. He wants to tell you the truth. He wants to warn you that you're in danger. Do you feel in danger now?
No.
Because you were looking a little worried that I was going to come near you. So then we're in the Ewok forest. And there is Han Solo, who has been captured by my friends. You'll remember that the Ewoks thought I was some kind of god. Mm-hmm. And Han Solo is above a fire. Do you remember? He's hanging over a fireplace. And he says, 3PO, what are they saying? And 3PO goes, "It appears, Captain Solo, that you are to be the main course at a banquet given in my honor."
By the way, if I may add something, I see there's a stormtrooper over there, so maybe we should tell them this is not the droid you're looking for.
Very good. Thank you very, very much. Yeah. I mean, the stormtroopers were pretty scary, but not really, because the costumes. Would you, sir, officer, would you come here? Just. Okay, we're going to have to work on the walk. Okay. So now you're going to walk you're going to think, I'm an officer, I'm a stormtrooper, much better. And now you're going to come and ask me for my identification in the manner. Action. Oh.
Can I see your papers?
That's very, very good, because you and me, big hand. But now, if I can use you as a demonstration, if you won't mind, can we come on this camera? I don't know what numbers are. This one, the one in front of me. Go. No, that's the one behind me. That's the one of them. I'm the star. Put me on. Are you functioning? This one. Hello. This is wonderful, in a funny sort of way. Anyway, all right, we'll do it to this one then. Oh, over here. Good. This is your close-up. No, don't shoot it. We finally found one. It's working. Right. You had an example of your PC officer.
TK22310.
TK22310. Got it? TK, there'll be questions later. Listen, you saw how macho TK22210 was then. You know, I need to see your identification. In reality, when they were filming, that was all very good. But in reality, when off duty, you would see bunches of stormtroopers sitting together in a kind of sewing bee. Because if I may point, just move your arm sideways, would you? All the edges of the costumes were very sharp plastic, bad enough on your arms, because they would scratch and they would nip the body underneath. Particularly bad was the area I'm pointing to off camera. It's down here. Okay. So you would see them sitting together, and they would be sticking cotton wool, what we in England call cotton wool, so like medical cotton, around the edges so that they would be more comfortable. So stormtroopers are not quite as mean as they appear. Thank you very much, sir. Is that... So who's got a question over here? I can tell this is the yes. And do we have a camera here? But we're in the dark, so this is the dark side, obviously. That's quite a good joke, I thought. I made that up on the spot. No, can you see? You can't see us now. Here we go.
Hello, I'd like to ask if there was any moment during filming which was improvised by you, and not including the script.
Was there any, it's a very good question, improvised acting, and I'm really thinking, because on the whole in a movie, you can't really improvise because it's all very carefully lit, each scene, like this. I mean, you know, look at it, perfect lighting. You can't, there we are, we found a way of lighting me. Yes. In a film like Star Wars, it is so carefully lit for each scene, and not only each scene, but each angle of each scene. So you might do a shot, there might be 6 setups on one scene, a wide shot, an establishing shot, a 2-shot, 2-shot there, maybe a 3-shot, single, 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 and the editor puts all that together. But in each of those shots, whether it's a single or a 2-shot or a medium close-up or a close-up or a reverse, each one of those has to be lit perfectly so the film looks consistent. And so if you are in a scene, people need to know what you are going to say and do, because if I suddenly decide to run over here, that's not going to work because I'm now out of focus, because of my mark, exactly, because as an actor, you are told where to stand, and it can be a little chalk mark on the floor. In the forest, it can be a twig that's a little different from the other twigs. On the studio floor, it can be a bean bag. And a bean bag can be like a bean bag, or it can be like a roll, or in my case, at one point, they made me a T-shape, which means you stand in the middle and your toes are either side of it, and they made me a gold T-shaped mark just for fun. The trouble is that I actually can't see the floor. To see the floor and my mark, I mean, I can see now if I come up to there, here is my mark. See, I missed it then. In reality, if I was to see that, I would have to count, rehearse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I should be there. I would count. And of course, sometimes I got it wrong and we'd have to do it again. Or spectacularly, if it was a beanbag or a roll, I would trip up on it and fall into the camera. So for the most part, you don't ad-lib. Occasionally, the odd line can slip in, and certainly I can ad-lib in post-production. But on the whole, you do what you're told, because otherwise they'll get another actor in, okay? It's a very good question, that, though. Yeah, any questions? All these people who are late, see me afterwards, yes. Just stand up so we can see you. I just want to say that. Wait. No. This is a speaking stick, yeah? And you have come here, you have to speak. Okay, you speak into this end.
Okay. I just want to say that I have your favorite line on my shirt. I kind of thought that since you would be here today, it would have been great too.
Look at, can we get it close? Isn't that superb? And sorry, I should have noticed it. I think I should have your T-shirt, obviously later. What do you think? I think probably it looks better on you. I don't know. Do you agree we're doomed? We're doomed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Usually when I wear it, I wore it when I went to go and do my GCSEs. So that was quite fitting. And I'm probably going to go and wear it when I do my A-levels now. So.
Right. The great thing about getting older is you don't ever have to do GCSEs or A-levels. I cannot tell you the relief. Well, thank you. What's your name?
Nick.
Nick, thank you. And that's really made my day. And indeed, the young lady over there, she'll be pleased. Terrific, thank you. Any other questions? Yeah, the lady who totally, first of all, what have you come as? Come here. Look, okay.
It's gold in honor of 3PO.
Yeah, and the turquoise bits, who's that in honor of?
That's just a little bit of...
Just the gold. Who are you?
I'm from a video game, Skyrim. It's a character you play. Okay.
And is it comfortable? Because most of the questions I get asked are, is it hard in the costume? Oh, how did you get in the costume? Because you look a little tall. Oh, you play the other one. Oh, okay. That from a journalist, believe it or not. What is your question?
I have a few, if that's all right.
Is it okay? Got a few? Yes or no? Yes or no? We need some enthusiasm here, guys. Yes or no? They'd better be good questions.
So you were telling us about the... you were telling us about...
This could take some time. Get on with it.
The scene where R2 was nudging you, was that in Revenge of the Sith? No, sorry, in the Clone Wars. There's a scene where R2 nudges 3PO down in the factory. Was that a little...
A little reference? No, that was, you know, R2-D2 is always more gung-ho than 3PO. And he's get on with it, you know. It's part of the dynamic. So, no, that's proper scripting.
Oh, okay, so that wasn't planned just as a joke. All right, fair enough. Yeah. Now you were saying George didn't tell you to leave the butler. Like, what were your instructions? What made you think to make...
What was my instructions for being C-3PO? They made the suit. It took 6 months to make the suit. And they promised me that I would have the entire suit so I could rehearse in a studio with mirrors, so I could see like in a gym, and a camera with closed circuit that I could see what worked and what didn't work. They promised that. A week before we went to Tunisia, they gave me the whole suit. For the first time I saw it laid out complete on the table. And we tried it on, and I wore it for probably 10 minutes, and I kind of blundered around, bumping into things, and then it was horrible. It was horrible. Horrible. I took it off, and I said, all right, now I needed to go and rehearse. It had to be freighted that week to get to Tunisia before I did. I never rehearsed in it. The first time I wore it was outside the Sandcrawler. And it had taken 2 hours to dress me up in it. 2 hours of being poked and prodded and screwed in and nipped and everything. And finally, when I was ready, we were in a tent and they parted the flaps of the front. And I stepped out into the sunlight. 3PO stepped out for the first time ever. And the crew, I could see the crew there in front of the Sandcrawler. And they were all looking at me. And I remember the bunch of American crew here, and they were saying, oh my God, that's incredible, look, yeah, wow, the gold man, he's fantastic. And here was a bunch of British crew, and they were going, it's rather good, isn't it? Yeah. And then there were the Tunisian helpers that seriously, I mean, practically they fell on their knees, kind of salaaming, because they thought I was the nearest thing to it. I mean, Ewoks hadn't been invented, but they were so impressed with seeing this. It was a very simple village we were in. At that point, we were out in the sand, the salt flats. And so I made this enormous impact on the crew. And that felt good. I felt horrible inside. It was awful. I was locked in this world all day for the first day, all day, including lunch. I said, somebody blew a whistle. I said, you know, what's that? And my dresser, Maxie, said, it's lunch. And I turned, and indeed, over there, about 100 yards away, was the food. And he said, shall I bring you something? And I thought, well, you know, I couldn't get out of this costume. Eventually, they stuck a straw and I had a sip of water all day, from 7 in the morning to 7 at night. All day. I couldn't eat, I could drink water through a straw. I couldn't sit down, I couldn't go to the little droid's room. 7 o'clock at night when the sun went down, because you're there, waiting for the sun, using the sun. It's why you're on location, apart from the beautiful vision you have, you're working with the weather. And so at the end of that day, yeah, I'd kind of had enough. That was day one. Totally day one. And I got another 12 weeks of this. I was not happy. What was your question? Why am I telling you? Did you inspire me to say that? Oh, and I should say that on that first day, I am the star. I mean, it's a beautiful costume, but I'm the star here, okay. People kept coming up to me saying, you look wonderful. That's fantastic. You look great. You brilliant, brilliant. That was day one. Day two, not so much. Day three, they forgot I was there. I was totally an object. Because I was playing an object, rather well, I think we'll agree, they believed me, and so they completely ignored the fact I was in there. I'd ceased being a star pretty much immediately. It was a bit sad, really. So day one, time. What was your next question?
Now that 3PO's character is well known and well loved, have you told Lucas, like, I told you so?
Oh no, that would be cruel. I think George is big enough to know. You know, he thought of so many things in that series of films that you can forgive him the odd moment of getting it wrong. He was big enough to change his mind after all. But he really wanted, as I found out later, to have a character that was like a car dealer from the Bronx in New York. Can you imagine, like, really sleazy, you know, kind of, I mean, I'm not sure I could have done that, but I would have tried. I would have tried, yes. Another question? One of the, you could have asked when I was over there. At my age, trekking around this room is not easy. Okay, I forget, I was going to say something then, but now you've interrupted. What's your name? It's what? It's George? Yes. Hi, George.
Hi. Well, my question is your ability to express your feelings and emotions while actually not showing your face, and I think it's truly amazing, and I wanted to ask what's your...
You see, from the young, the truth comes out. Thanks, George.
So what is your process, and how easy or how difficult is it to actually be able to do that?
Seriously, it's a really good question. When I was at drama school, one of the classes I was quite good at was mime. We did everything. I'm sorry. Am I boring you? Stand up. Only if somebody's going to misbehave in class, what kind of person would it be? What would they be wearing but a Darth Vader t-shirt? Go away. It's a very good question. And one of the exercises one did at drama school in class was to wear a plastic face with no features. So just, it looked like human, but it didn't have all the detail. And you had to express using parts of your body in other ways to get an emotion out of it. And the other thing is the extraordinary costume of 3PO himself. And that was sculpted on a model of my body, so they took a plaster cast of me, and then Liz Moore, the sculptor, covered me over in, or covered the body over in clay, and then she made this face of 3PO that is so beautiful in repose. It's just a beautiful face. And it's blank enough, it looks beautiful, but it's blank enough that I could write any emotion, whether it's happy or sad. You know, the crudest example is, you know, to be sad. We feel emotions often in the middle of our tummy here, so you kind of crumple a bit, and maybe the shoulders and all that kind of thing. So I had the tools to do it. And one of the best bits for me that I ever saw was when Alec Guinness has just been swiped in half by Darth Vader, and 3PO's on the Millennium Falcon just sitting absolutely still, slightly with his head on one side, just looking so sad. But it helps also, do you realize, that the audience, because you were sad at the time watching, you just thought, Obi-Wan has died, you felt sad, you see me on screen being sad, and you believe me. So we're working together. The audience and the actors really are working together, even though we're miles apart, years apart possibly. So it's a joint thing. we need the audience. Thank you very much for your wonderful question. I really like that. Yes, Bart, yes.
Hi. First of all, I'd like to thank you for your work. Not just for your work, but I love the fact that you embraced the character and you embraced the fans, and we're very, very thankful about that. So thank you very much. I love the small tidbits of information like you give, like behind the scenes stuff that you do. And I know that you have a book coming out, and I love, no, I actually love reading that book. So, so I would love to read that book. So if you could just tell us some stuff about that book.
Thank you very much. As some of you may know, I have in fact written a book, and this is the front cover that you can see. The actual book, just in case people are confused, is a little smaller than this. This is a blow-up photograph, okay. It's a real book size, and as you can see it says, I am C-3PO, the inside story, Anthony Daniels, and most importantly, forward by J.J. Abrams. Adore this man. He is bringing you the best film ever. And in this book, it starts with, I think it really starts with me meeting George. And you know, I didn't want to meet George. I didn't want to be in this silly, low-budget science fiction film as a robot. No. You okay? Stay with me. I didn't want to meet him, but my agent made me go, and I walked in, and George was so tiny, so non-American, flashy, big Hollywood. He was just a nice person. But importantly, on the wall was a Ralph McQuarrie concept painting of what the character would look like. And that's where this all began. I fell in love with the painting. And so the book carries you through pretty much in chronological order of films. But around that, I also talk about the difficulties of being in a bigger... Can we go back to a close-up of me, because I'm the star, and we've done the book now. Everybody got the title all together? Stop. On action all together. Action. That's great. I didn't even do... Shut up. That's enough. I didn't even do a Jedi mind trick there. That was pretty cool. Thank you. It is a story that I realize is, you know, Star Wars is all about a hero's journey. It's about Luke Skywalker and other people going through passages of their life, good and bad and dangerous and happy and all that. And I realized at the end of writing the book that I had actually been on a journey myself. It started in a very strange way. It became stranger and a bit sad. And then it grew into something else, and other things happened, and all sorts of spin-off activities and experiences, whether meeting fans. Always the fans is a big theme through it, whether it was being at the Academy Awards, or being on the Muppet Show, or Sesame Street, or heaven help us, the holiday special. Anybody see the holiday special? Big no-no. It's on YouTube. You can actually fast forward and live it. It's terrifyingly bad. And then we had the Christmas in the Stars, right? It goes through all sorts of things that I've experienced whilst you have been watching me inside there. You get to hear what I'm thinking. It's out in this country, I think, in October. So you may enjoy it. And thank you for that question. Because many times there are stories that I want to share, and I can't always be at a convention, so you can read it for yourself. Ideal present for Christmas, comes out just in time. And believe me, DK, the publishers, have said it's Anthony's first book. They're wrong. They're so wrong. It is Anthony's last book, because I'm never doing it again. It's a ton of work. So do you think your dad would like to buy that book for Christmas?
No. Yeah. Maybe.
Well, please yourself, you know what I mean. Well, just in case, I'm going to give you that card so you can think about it, okay. You know, one of the lovely things that happened in the first movie, I'd never been in a film, I was a stage actor, radio, and television, all that kind of thing. So I never thought to be in a real film. And of course, you've heard how I met George. And they're going out to Tunisia on the plane. We had a charter flight. There were all sorts of people. And I realized, sitting opposite me across the aisle was Alec Guinness, Sir Alec Guinness. And I'm sure a lot of you know his work, his superb work in film and indeed on stage. And eventually I plucked up courage to speak to him and introduced myself and all that kind of thing. And when we arrived in Tunisia, he got into his limo. I had a bus here. No, it wasn't my bus. Everybody was on the bus. Sir Alec was in the limo with his wife, Merila. And he saw me and he sort of beckoned over and he got out of the car. He said, and he was reaching in his pocket. He said, have they given you your per diem yet? I had no idea what he meant. I'd failed Latin at school so many times, GCSE, A-level. Have they given you your per diem yet? Your pocket money, because they seem to have given me rather a lot, and I think you should have some. How could you not love that man? And of course, he grew to be the most wonderful guru in all of our lives, Obi-Wan Kenobi. And he was a wonderful person to work with. He took care of me, because filming was a little weird, a new experience for me, and he really looked after me. And then it went on, we made the film, and we all thought, including Sir Alec, we all thought it was like rubbish. Yes. Carrie Fisher thought it was rubbish. Mark Hamill thought it was rubbish. Han Solo, Harrison Ford, total rubbish. And me, utter nonsense. No idea what was going on. But we had all learned the lines. We were all professional actors. And we all did what we were told with full heart and full energy. And then they went away to edit it, and there was a big silence. And then suddenly the cover of Time or Newsweek, bam, bang. This film is huge. People went in, there was no pre-budget for advertising. People just went in, sat there and went, wow. And then went out and got their friends who came and said, wow. And so that's 2 wows. And then it grew incrementally. And the word now is viral. It was the first film to actually go viral. And do you know what? Without the fans, people who became fans, short for the word fanatic, not crazy, just people who really enjoy the worlds that George created with our help. And it was the first time that that ever happened. And that meant we were allowed to make another film. And because of that, another film. And then there was a pause, and then we went back and made 3 more films here. And then there was less of a pause, and suddenly you have 3 more films here. And I am the only person to be in all of them. And there, of course, takes me to think about what we were doing in Chicago just now. A week today, we were in Chicago talking principally about episode 9. Yes? What's it called? The Rise of Skywalker. I'm in that one too. And I honestly believe, whereas I thought the first one was a bit meh, my impression of The Rise of Skywalker, you are totally going to love it. There is so much in there. And J.J. Abrams has wrapped the story very neatly. I think you're going to like it. But one reason we're making episode 9 is because you wanted to see it. You saw all the other episodes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And some of you liked things better than others. But you have always been there. You have given me work and the other people work for 42 years. As I said at the beginning, I'm really grateful. And I'm grateful for your loving support and your friendliness and your interest and all those people who've been brave enough to ask questions and all that kind of thing. Because we are actually one family. We just come from different sides. We contribute in the way we do. And next time, you will all come in costume. Thank you for your attention.
back here, Comic Con Cyprus 2019. I'm here with Mr. Peter, one of the head organizers over here. Mr. Peter, how's it going so far?
So far, so good. The weather's treating us well. We were expecting a bit of rain. We did have a bit of rain. The sun's come out, and people are still flowing in. So it's pretty wonderful so far.
Do you have an estimate of our attendance so far, or is that coming at the end?
It'll come at the end, but we're on track. It's looking like we're going to be at least as big as the last time.
Perfect. And how is everyone enjoying? I mean, how do you see the emotions, the feelings going on around so far?
I mean, I've just come from the Retro Computer Museum booth, and it's just amazing to see people from newer generations playing on older generation hardware. Little kids of 5 years old playing kind of Bomb Jack that was released in probably the early 90s or late 80s, and just having a blast.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
like, these games are older than you.
Exactly, but they transcend generations. You know, it's fantastic.
All right, I'm sure you're really, really busy, so thank you for your time, and we'll be seeing you around.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, we're here with Mrs. Galina at the University of Nicosia's booth. Can you tell us a little bit what's going on over here?
Yes, we're representing the University of Nicosia. We have our talented students from the program of design and multimedia that are showcasing their very important work as they work with characters, building different designs, etc. And of course, we are here to promote our programs in general, education, because it is important, the young talents, to be involved in all these activities that will bring them future careers. And Comic Con is the place to be.
Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm here with Apple in front of the Hallyu CY booth. Can you tell us a little bit what's going on over here?
Yeah, Hallyu is basically the Korean wave that's expanding throughout the world right now. And we're basically selling merchandise that we ordered for our fans here in Cyprus. And we gather the money in order to create more community group and stuff events where everyone can like join and enjoy and have a great time. Either that would be a movie night, karaoke, or just dancing.
All right, so what do you have on sale for us here today?
We have pepero made from our Hallyu creator, which is Crystal. She's not here at the moment, but you'll find her around. The one is peanut butter with milk chocolate, the other one is Oreo, and the other one is coconut with pistachio.
All right, and how much do these go for?
$1.50 each.
All right, thank you very much for your time. You have a great day, my man.
Thank you, you too.
I'm here with Panayotis in front of Mirror 3D Lab. Can you tell us a little bit what's going on over here?
Okay. We have a booth here with 64 DSLR cameras that we can 3D scan people. And from the 3D scan, we create a 3D model of a person that can be used for 3D printing, or we can use it for game engine and to create an avatar for a game engine that can move. Also, we can use it for virtual reality and other applications like augmented reality and for marketing purposes.
And how much do the action figures cost?
It depends on the size of the printed size, but we have an offer here for Comic Con that we can start from €69 for the small one, that is 1 to 12 scale.
Okay.
It goes up, yes.
And how can people find you?
They can find me on Facebook, Instagram, our website that is mirror3dlab.com. Just search Mirror 3D Lab, you will find many sources.
Thank you very much for your time, man.
You.
Have a great day. We're here in front of the scrapyard booth. We're going to get some little information about that. What's going on over here?
We have this competition running for the third time through Comic Con. It's about building a computer with €250.
Okay.
So the guys here have to pick parts up to €250, and the rest of the stuff you see as computer looks, they have to build from scrap.
Okay.
So anything you see here, it's made from scrap.
And €250.
The internal parts of the computers are actually all of them around the ballpark of €250. Let's say maybe less, maybe more. But we're trying to give to the people that you can actually still game on a budget of €250.
I thought that was impossible until you just said it.
That was the idea. That's why we said, okay, we're going to build up the community, and we're going to show the people that even with only €250, you can actually build a computer that looks nice, performs amazing with the money you spend, and you have a nice time doing it with friends here, of course. So now we're gonna have benchmarks go through the games that you play in 2019, and then everybody's gonna vote for the most beautiful computer we have here, and we're gonna give them the prizes.
All right, and when is that competition going to be held?
Now it's a competition of the benchmarks. We're having it now, and tomorrow it's gonna be about the looks.
All right, man. Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. I'm here with Angela. Angela, what do we have going on over here?
We are preparing the cosplayers psychologically. They get into character and we shoot them.
All right, perfect. How much do these pictures cost?
We have different packages from print to digital to retouched to added effects and just simple photos.
No, that's perfect. What's the best cosplay you've seen so far today?
Today, there was a family from Witcher. I'm not sure. But they were really good and they made everything. It took them a month and they were very excited and all of them came great. It's like they were beautiful people.
All right, so when people, are you guys going to send them by email? Do you print them out here?
Send them digitally, we upload them on Facebook, we give it to Comic Con, we print them, we do all necessary.
All right. Angela, thank you very much for your time. Best of luck today.
Thank you, thank you.
We're here at the Artist Alley. We're here with a couple of cosplayers. Who are you cosplaying as today?
Lagertha from Vikings.
All right, and how come you decided to?
Because she's fierce, just like me.
That is the perfect answer. And I'm assuming Poison Ivy?
Yes, from DC Comics.
And how come you decided to do Poison Ivy?
She's poison. And I guess... yeah, I guess so. I guess so.
So fierce and poison, that's our reasons for cosplaying today? Perfect. Thank you very much.